Welcome into the Cam and Strick podcast, episode number 307, baby.
Yoink. What up? What's going on? All you guys and girls around the world. I tell you what, it's beautiful. It was a beautiful weekend for Andy and I here in St. Louis, Missouri. I made a fire yesterday. Put a fire on. Didn't make it.
Fueled by First Form.
Fueled by First Form. Put a fire on this weekend. A lot of golfing going on. This is my favorite time of the year. It was cold this morning. You know?
No, not as cold as it was in Michigan where I was.
I don't think you should tell. I got chirped a bunch on Twitter for some odd reason because we talked about the weather in Canada. Andy went on like
You're
a little.
way off, dude.
I didn't even say anything.
No, you're like.
You're the one that goes, it's, hey, you know what the weather is in Saskatchewan? I go, what? He's like, 42 degrees. I got 15 text messages. I got chirped by somebody on goddamn. Why are they tagging me in that mug? I didn't say anything. And it's so odd, man. These guys will chirp on Twitter about us talking about the weather in Canada, which is just so irrelevant. And then I'll be like, God damn, he'll bash us. And then I'll be like, okay. And then I'll like message him and be like, dude, what was that all about? He's like, no, we love you, man. I was just trying to, I'm like, God, well, Jesus, would you, you said that.
You get very sensitive to that.
I don't get chirped much.
You get sensitive.
So I'm just protecting our brand.
Yeah, you got to build up that thick skin.
Well, you get chirped a lot, I guess, so you're used to that.
Used to it, man. I guess.
That's why I don't like it, because there's nothing you could do to these guys except for be nice back.
I always say that about
be witty every day.
Like,
which
youth hockey parents, there's a lot of people who say things behind backs and whatever
about your kid.
Yeah. I know. So you hear things and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I always tell people, I've been getting bashed for almost 30 years, man. It doesn't bother me.
You have.
Say whatever you want.
So have I. I've been bashed on hockeyfights.com and Twitter, and I remember these different sites and juniors and stuff like that, and it just would drive me nuts. But it also, it didn't. It fueled me, I guess. It fuels you to be like, no. And you know what, though? I will say this to all you guys, man. There's always something to it, right? There's always something to it. It might be the most bizarre, outlandish comment ever, and you're like, what is that? But then you kind of tie it together, like, no, maybe we were a little bit off on something.
On what? So, on global cooling?
On global warming.
No, you called it global cooling.
I said that's the worst thing that could happen is global cooling.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not saying it's happening.
Oh.
I'm just saying that's the worst thing that could happen, because we've seen that in the past.
Appreciate that, Cam. Yeah, no, if you want to bash Cam, I might have to have a Cam bash line.
I don't get bashed that much. You get bashed more than anybody. I don't even like show you anything. Speaking of bashing, I got to bash Andy off the bat too.
Why?
The absolute worst golfer I've ever not necessarily. I was so bad too.
You're terrible. You're so bad.
I just said I was.
And you play all the time.
Which
is so embarrassing.
You're the most annoying golfer ever in existence. That's why you probably don't get invited to that many things.
I'm always invited. I don't go.
I don't go. Then stay home. Very, very annoying. I love you. It just, the talking between strokes. Oh, Jesus, Murphy. To get from one hole to the other, Andy's got to have a goddamn conversation with these two guys about everything, anything. They want to get going. They just found their groove. The one guy was fantastic at golf. He's finding his groove. Andy keeps stopping him every single hole. He'll stop. He won't play a hole. He'll look for his ball one hole. He won't know what to do on another hole. He will go on the green, literally, and take his spikes and spin around. And I'm like, dude, you can't do that. I gotta bash it back down with my putter. Oh my God. I don't know what your deal is.
It's fun. It's fun. I like to get. That's the part of it I like.
You're the kind of golfer I don't know. It's tough.
But Cam,
I love you.
You're the kind of golfer where
I played every single hole.
I don't understand how.
Not to mention he's ordering cocktails.
No.
Oh Jesus. We get hooked. We get hooked up.
Smoking cigars.
He's got to go in the I got my buddy Mike who runs Glen Echo. This course is fantastic. He's taking care of things, but we got to add up. We need to add up, and we'll give him the bill, and then we're gonna have to pay at the end, because not for the golf, but for all the cocktails we're drinking.
Yeah, because that's what you do.
We want to keep it on a somewhat we want to take care of these guys, but we don't need to be outland. We don't need to go overdo it, and that's me saying it. So first thing Andy does is goes right into the clubhouse. I need balls. Buys like $50 worth of balls right off the bat. I'm like, God damn it. Then we buy this, and he can't drink only certain things, and we got to go here and this, that. And I'm like, yeah. So anyway, it all worked out, and our buddy picked up the tab at the end anyway, which was expensive.
Well, you're ordering way too many beers.
I had to leave because it's like an hour and a half home. Like, I got to get home.
We stayed.
And Andy's there. I'm like, I called my buddy. He's like, is that motherfucker still there? Buying booze. Racking up the pot. He paid for everything, dude.
I know.
We got to take care of him.
So thank you, Mike, man. It was great. Yeah. Mike from Glen Echo. We had a great time out there.
Holy macaroni.
Listen, you can get a lot of things done on a golf course. A lot of business.
Golf yesterday with Kate.
You need to stop. I don't understand. And I kind of say this, and I mean an honest. And listen, I'll admit I'm not a good golfer. I don't ever golf. That's the first time.
Here's Andy.
Dude, how good was my putting in my chipping?
He hit the ball 15 times in a row. Literally dug up a big hole right by the creek.
That was in the sand.
We're looking at each other like, what the fuck is he doing?
That was in the sand.
Hopefully no one's looking.
That was in the sand.
We fixed it.
My mid-range game, actually, in my putting, dude, they were all talking about it afterwards.
We both suck.
No,
we both
Cam,
suck.
If I played as much as you, there's no way I'd be as bad as you.
I don't know what my deal is, man.
What is the problem with you?
I don't know, dude.
I can't believe you keep going out.
Yeah, but because those guys want to hang out.
Do you have fun?
I'm entertaining them.
Do you have fun being so bad?
No.
Is it fun to go golfing?
When I'm with Kate and my buddies, yeah. But if I'm with people that are watching, if I'm in a tournament where somebody will buy me or whatever, auction, and then I get to play with a group of guys that are cool, but they're taking it serious. Like that's not fun for me.
No.
And like I need to fucking have my mind right to I drink too much for one, smoke too much for two. If I have an Adderall, I'll be a little bit better because then I can concentrate.
What's the Adderall gonna do for you?
Don't do it. Just makes you concentrate, and it's unhealthy and it's expensive. And if you're on Adderall all the fucking time, it doesn't work anyway.
Can
after
you
a
test
while.
Positive for Adderall or
in the NHL?
Yeah.
Not one. They put you in a different category. No, you have to have. Oh God, you have to have a doctor sign off every single month. Yeah. Every single time you have a script.
I'm sure that's how you get yours.
No, I get mine off the black market. I don't have an.
Are you
I don't
snorting
even
it?
I did. I have.
Do people do that? They snort a lot of snort a lot of Adderall.
Hey, you just take them. Like once you do, you just take them. Like it's a fucking lifesaver. But you get addicted to it, dude. Bad, really bad.
And it's addictive. Then listen,
huh? You're damn right. It is so goddamn. It's fucking Coke. It's fucking pill form Coke, but 10 times better because it lasts a lot longer. And you will get so addicted to it to a point where you don't even want to get up the next day if you don't have any Adderall. You will not want to get up or do anything. You have chores to do that day. You got to take Ty to hockey. You got to do this. You want to stick handle, whatever it is, cut the grass. You will not do it. And you'll just be lazy as shit when you come off that.
I don't cut the grass.
I know you don't. Hector does.
Yeah.
But I'm just letting you guys know.
Jose's been coming in.
I know, yeah. But whenever I talk about this, it's actually a big deal because a lot of kids are on it. And once you can't, there's a fucking, sometimes the doctors don't have it, man. It's hard to get now. It gets, the product will get stuck somewhere overseas and not be able to come here.
Okay.
And so guys get off, it's bad,
all
dude.
Right, slow down for 1 second. Did you take one this morning?
No, I don't have a prescription. I don't have a prescription.
Do you need one right now? Would it calm you down or does it speed you up?
Am I different than any other day?
I don't know. I'm just asking.
I'm asking. You need to worry about you.
Does it calm you down?
I'm the one entertains.
Does it calm you down or does it?
No. It's a good question. It depends. Sometimes it makes you edgy because you don't eat on it. You know what I mean? It'll make you lose a lot of weight quick, but then you're really not eating and enjoying food at all.
Okay.
And if you don't have food, like your stomach it's not.
So some people maybe would need to go to IRC because of an Adderall addiction.
That's a good question, Andy. And actually, we could talk to Eric Conley about that, and I have. Absolutely. Let me tell you this, though. If you want to compare addictions to alcohol, cocaine, heroin, fentanyl, whatnot, to Adderall, if you get off of alcohol, if you're drinking a ton of alcohol and you want to get off of that and cold turkey, you will have problems for a long time. And if you're really on booze, you'll have big time problems like seizures and whatnot. Okay, heroin, most hardcore goddamn thing in the world to get off of. You're like, for months and months. Like
crystal meth.
Meth is really hard to get off of. It'll take a while to be able to adjust. Adderall, you give yourself 2-3 days. 2 to 3 days. All you guys out there that are addicted to Adderall, because there's a lot of them, you get 2 or 3 days and suck it up and drink water and force yourself to work out. Hell, you could sleep the first day if you want. Give yourself 3 days and you won't think about it again. Now you'll regroup and you'll get up and you'll want to clean off the deck and cut the grass and do that without thinking of that little orange pill.
Jose
3 days.
Cuts the grass.
And you won't even withdraw that hard. You're not going to shake much. I'm just telling you guys.
Okay.
All good.
Or go golfing for the day.
Yeah, but you'll suck.
Yeah.
Because your
you
brains,
know a little bit about that.
Your brain has to adjust back to not rely on the pill.
Dude, what'd you think of Tyreek Hill, man?
I saw that. Pretty gutless, dude. What did he do? Did he have a suspended license? Do we know?
We don't know yet. I'm waiting for that body cam footage.
They threw him down.
Can I just give you my?
I didn't like that, Andy.
No, my guess is he was driving reckless or very, very fast in that area, right?
Going to the game.
But it's like,
that's him.
It's Tyreek, dude. He's getting amped for the game. I'm not saying he should be able to drive 100 miles per hour in a 35 mile per hour zone.
Yeah, and there's kids walking around.
But
Andy,
you pull him over, you see it's him. Can't you just be like, Tyreek, what are you doing, dude?
Idiot?
Stop doing that. Just go.
Just go. Get out of here.
But
go.
So I don't know if my guess is that he wasn't complying
Probably not.
with whatever they're asking him to do.
Who he is.
Hold on. And so they're like, hey, we're going to take you out of the car if you don't listen, blah, blah, blah. He's not listening. They take him out of the car. They put him on the ground. Like he had like there was a police chase going on for 12 miles, like he was a fugitive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then they take him to the curb and another guy like throws him down to the curb, Then his teammates show up and they put Calais Campbell in handcuffs, who's like one of the nicest guys ever, been around for a long time, just there to kind of like help out with his teammate. They put him in handcuffs, saying that he was cited for like disobeying orders or something like that.
Good Lord.
All I know is there's an investigation going on. One of the police officers has been put on leave, administrative leave. This will not go away. You have Drew Rosenhaus going crazy, giving interviews. That's Tyreek Hill's agent. Free cheetah. I mean, it's just like everywhere. And he goes out there and he balls, and then he gives an interesting interview afterwards.
He's like this.
Oh, yeah.
Handcuff me.
I mean, you knew he was going to do some type of touchdown celebration. But then they just like let him go.
Yeah.
So for like a traffic stop, a traffic violation with one of the most recognizable athletes in the world right now, and certainly on the opening day of NFL Sunday, and one of the best players in the league, just voted actually the best player by his peers in football, and you've got this guy in front of all these fans, face first down on the concrete, and they're handcuffing the guy.
I know. Like he was committing a crime, like a big-time crime.
So
like
what do you think happens here?
I don't know. I don't know. Did they have reasoning? Did he have a suspended license? Did he have anything besides speeding going on? And like, what did he say? Let's look at the police cam. Did he put it on?
Well, they're going to show that.
That's shady. I didn't like it, man. That's god awful. You know what I mean? Now it's going to get everybody in a fucking.
Well, now it gets everyone in a tailspin. Everyone,
look what they're doing.
Listen, it gets everybody. Everyone gets riled up now.
Was it went to white cops?
Because now it creates that division.
Well, yeah. It looked terrible.
And we're talking about the NFL.
Yeah, exactly.
And you got a lot of these athletes, obviously, who are being asked about it. And
remember 10 years ago what happened with Conn?
So now we're when stuff like this happens,
reset.
Now we're back. This isn't at like 1 a.m.
That sucks.
On a Wednesday night where he's driving. He's right outside the stadium where he's going to work, and everyone knows this guy.
He's a superstar, Andy. And not to mention, like, it's not like this guy's got 15 swinging dicks in his car. There's meth fucking smoke everywhere. There's fentanyl in the car.
Driving a Lamborghini or whatever.
He's got 15 warrants out for his arrest. And then you pull him over and he's like, I'm not getting out. Well, then you got to do what you got to do. What the hell was this? You guys don't know that's Tyreek Hill going to a goddamn game? You didn't figure that out? Now everybody's filming you. No, fucking horrible that looked. So I walked film by. They're like, what is this? They picked him up and slammed him. What was he saying to you? Let's look at the body camera. I hope you put that on. You're getting all you cops are getting a bad look right now because of these guys, because of a handful of guys.
Do you think that would happen like in a city like St. Louis if an athlete was like driving, like if Marshall Faulk was driving into?
We've seen that happen a million times with athletes, and St. Louis cops are pretty cool about it. Now they will arrest you. We've seen it with David Freese and stuff like that. Like, don't get me wrong, but I mean, Some guys will. Not all of them, because I don't want to.
David Freese, what are you talking about?
He got a couple D-dubs.
I think long before he was the World Series hero, though, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, but he was a St. Louis Cardinal.
No. I don't even think he was playing for the Cardinals back then, was
Really?
he? Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, when he first came to the Cardinals, he became like an instant postseason hero.
Maybe you're right on that,
yeah.
Andy. My bad.
So
maybe he was younger.
Yeah.
He was into baseball, and I think he got out of it.
But could you imagine,
I don't know.
Albert Pujols being tossed down to the concrete?
That's crazy. Or who now? A Nolan Arenado when he's pulling up, gets thrown in the crowd.
Oh my God.
No, people would have a shit fit here, and rightfully so. That looked bad. Now there could be more to the story. Again, this is Monday.
Well, that's why I'm hesitant to
But they let him go.
Because I don't know what was said. Well, apparently they had to get the Dolphins head of security involved in all that. He probably came in.
Oh, he was probably "What are you guys doing?"
Situation.
Don't we all know each other? Listen, by the way, when we go down the Blues games,
I'm
high-fiving every police officer.
Yes.
When we walk in, we're like, "What's up, baby? What's up, home?" We know all these guys. They're at every one of our events. They're at all the the different parties.
They're there to protect the players and take care of the players and the fans.
And the fans too.
But you know what I'm saying?
No, exactly. We
they
know everybody.
would make sure Tyreek Hill is getting into the garage safely, and
exactly
you know what I'm saying?
They have to fucking carry him in there or drive him in their own police car with a fucking sirens going on, just a police escort him in. That's what you do. Why did they do that?
Do you think this is worse than the Scheffler situation?
Same kind of thing. That's a good question, Andy. Same. Come on, man. We're deep into a good
we're into the season now.
Deep into a good conversation.
You never know what could be.
I know.
Yeah, go ahead.
You could look at your phone. Just don't have it loud. But no, Scotty Scheffler situation. That was so fucked up. Oh, he got dragged. Show me the video. We did see the video. He didn't get dragged. Scotty Scheffler's like, no, I'm the best athlete in the world. I'm going in here for my job.
Oh, the police got dragged.
He got dragged my ass, you liar. You liar. And you're lucky he didn't sue you guys. I'm glad he didn't.
Oh, I think Tyreek Hill is considering
he probably
litigation.
He probably is. And for him, I don't know exactly, because people are going to be like, dude, Cam, this is what he did. I don't know yet.
Well, some people are saying, and you don't know. And, he doesn't have the cleanest record.
No doubt.
Right? When you look at his record.
It was house burned down.
I think it was house burned down, but I think he had some issues in college, may have involved a pregnant female or something, some domestic issues. Yeah. He's got a lot of kids going on.
A lot of baby mama. He got a lot of baby mamas.
There was a child abuse allegation at one point.
Did he get a switch?
No, I don't think he did.
Boy from
Adrian Peterson.
Boy, get that switch off the tree. And then he beats him with it.
He's from the Deep South, dude.
I know.
But no,
I don't like that either.
I think he broke his kid's arm, dude, or something like that.
But you got to beat your kid like that?
I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. With that particular situation, I think it may have been thrown out, or if he had charges pressed, it didn't really go anywhere. But free Cheetah, dude.
Yeah.
He's calling that reporter dog the whole time in that interview, man. And I loved it. I loved his interview. His interview killed me after the game.
Scored a nice
touchdown. I actually thought he just did a remarkable
fun to watch football
with it.
Oh, can I tell you something?
Yeah.
So I'm I got my neighbors over Friday night. There's a football game on Friday. I'm like, hell yeah, there's a football game on Thursday.
In Brazil?
In Brazil, where all the players are like, get me the fuck out of here. You can't even wear green. I wonder if there's any robberies or anything with the fans.
What do you mean you can't wear green?
Can't wear green because of the gangsters there, man. Yeah.
Really?
They said they told the players and their families not to wear green. But
wasn't it the Philadelphia Eagles?
They all went down there and wore. Well, they both were green, and so even
Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, exactly. And there's green is affiliated with gangs down there in
Brazil,
Sao Paulo. Yeah, 30 million people there. A lot of people in that town.
What kind of gangs?
Gangs that are creeping up through our border.
You think more dangerous than the Bloods and the Crips?
Yeah,
in South Central?
I'd say more organized. They're part of the cartel. The Bloods and Crips are just fucking killing each other, dude. And they'll kill you, and they'll kill this, and blah, blah, blah.
And they'll rob you.
They'll
carjack you.
Carjack you, then get arrested, then they go hang with their buddies, and they'll get out, whatever. These guys are organized. They're smuggling, kids and people
across
and drugs
the world.
And all kinds of. They're way more organized. Cartel is the most horrific.
So the cartel expands into Brazil.
Cartels
and some
everywhere.
Of those areas.
Yeah, for sure. And they got their own cartel and stuff like that too. But yeah, no, I think that would be scary. And I haven't read anything yet that there was, fans that got, robbed or anything. Maybe nothing happened, and good for them. But I think some of the players were pretty weirded out by that. Can't wear green, can't do this. I know some of them came out and talked about it personally on their social media. So, but
the NFL is so big. Do they? I mean, I understand the financial implications and benefits, but do you really need to be having games in Brazil?
No, and do you though? That's what I mean. Like, do you even when you go to England and stuff like that?
I would imagine they make money, otherwise they wouldn't be doing it.
Okay, I'm just saying, like fan base, bringing fans over. It's like
I'm sure. Listen, they have fans all over the world, and I'm sure that
not really. The NFL, I think, is
got fans all over the world.
It's actually more Americanized.
Well,
than
you don't
any
have
other...
players all over the world. It's not nearly as global as what you find in the NBA or the NHL or Major League Baseball. Even,
yeah. I mean, it's huge. It's the number one thing in the United States, baby. You're damn right.
Everyone's pretty much American, or you have a sprinkle of a Canadian here and there. Or you maybe have an Australian rules football player who comes over. You got to be
a monster, though.
With a rugby background.
Yeah, with a rugby background, or maybe some big old Samoan.
Some of those punters.
Samoan,
oh, yeah, but they're playing football up in Hawaii and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I'm talking maybe some of the, like, those little islands, stuff like that, those big.
They're playing 7-on-7.
There's big guys that they could form into an athlete, you know what I mean?
He's like the running back, the fullback, the offensive line, and the kicker.
I told you this before, though, football's not fun to play. My opinion.
Oh, I thought it was
compared
great.
to hockey, not even close, man.
That's not a fair statement to make.
Well, I'm making the statement because I'm comparing two sports that we've played.
You got to say
long.
it like that. Say I liked hockey more than football.
I played baseball.
Can you say that?
Let me say something.
No, just say I like hockey more than football. But you can't say it's more. People get tons of enjoyment of playing football. People love playing football.
I just think there's just okay. So if I'm an inside linebacker, man, like I'm only out there for a couple. Okay, you're only out there for certain plays, and a lot of times you just come up to a pile. Maybe once in a while you'll go and you'll stick, but usually you're just getting blocked by a guy the whole time. So it's like you're going in, this fucking monster's coming at you and just blocking you, and maybe you'll get your arm out, you get fallen. Like in hockey, you could just do things. You could cruise around. You could create your own play. You could.
Yeah, but you know what?
It's just different, in my opinion. That's
as
just
a
my
linebacker, you have you can blitz, you can sack the quarterback.
That's if the coach tells you to.
You can stuff a run. And get right through that power gap and stuff a run.
I know.
You can drop back in pass protection
and get burned
and get an interception. I mean,
I'm just saying,
you got to be an intelligent person to play middle linebacker, especially at that level. You got to be able to read the play, anticipate. You're calling out the protections and all that.
It's not as
to
fun.
The rest of the defense. Now,
as hockey, it's just I'm comparing it to hockey. You're right, and you said to do that, and I am, and I'm just saying, like, God, hockey's just way more free, man. Like you go out there and just create your own whatever you want to do. You could do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you say that, and maybe it was like that for you with your role and stuff like that. I've had lots of players tell me that the game has become too systematic at times.
Even then.
And I remember Oshie being like, I'm not a robot. They're telling me like which route to skate all the time. And he couldn't. I think he wanted to improvise. I think he wanted to play free. And under Andy Murray, I just remember those guys having,
that's the case.
Having issues with that freelance ability and that creativity that got them to the NHL level to begin with.
I'm still taking that under consideration whenever I judge both sports. I'm still taking that at what Andy Murray, because I played for Andy Murray. I know exactly what he's talking about. And no, I was more tight-knit than anybody. As a fourth-line guy, I had to be a goddamn robot. But even then, I thought I had way more freedom than when I played football in high school. That's all. That's all I'm
but
saying.
You're comparing it to one position. If you're a wide receiver,
I was playing fullback
or
too.
A quarterback,
quarterback's a different story. Yeah. If you're a quarterback, but that's one position. So like anybody.
Well, what about a running back?
You're getting stopped a lot too, man. Running backs don't last long. I don't know. Like
wide receiver.
Yeah, you're doing one. You go there, and if you might get a pass, you might not get a pass. You might get
they're athletic,
and then you're gonna get rocked.
Cornerbacks, which is
I know.
I played a lot of cornerback actually. I loved it.
Andy was 5'1", 100 pounds playing cornerback. God, I would have bulldozed you so bad. Hey, I'll give you a little. Okay. Well, speaking of college football, did you see Northern Illinois beat fucking Notre Dame?
Yeah.
Komodowski, how's your team doing? All you Notre Dame fans, oh my God, you lost to that team? You guys didn't even like put up a fight. Like, it was close, but
Notre Dame does this on occasion where they just lose these terrible games. And their defense is so good right now, man. You can't put up points on them. But they couldn't. And listen, they had to pay Northern Illinois almost $1.5 million just to play them.
Yeah.
So they wrote them a check and lost. And they've got 4- and 5-star players all over the field, dude. All over, at every position. And not just at every position.
Wow.
The backup is a 5-star.
Yes.
The backup's a 4-star.
There it is. Yep. You're
and you got these guys, and now that's their Super Bowl, dude. Northern Illinois.
They just won it.
Notre Dame wasn't knocking on their door, man. And trust me, the coaching staff is getting them pumped up prior to the game. And they're saying, hey, listen, they didn't want you. You're not as good as them.
Yeah.
They don't think you're as good as them. You don't belong at this level.
They denounce you.
All we are is a little Northern Illinois.
Yep.
But they came in and they played some football, man.
So awesome to see that. That's why I like college football. Stuff like that. Doesn't happen too much.
Mm-hmm.
But Northern Illinois goes into a number 5 ranked fucking Notre Dame.
Yeah.
And they
who just beat Texas A&M on the road.
They beat them at home. All their fans are like, they're all dudes, by the way. They're like, oh, God.
What's all dudes? The Notre Dame fans?
Notre Dame has a lot of dudes. That's all.
So you don't think there's females that go there?
There are, Andy.
But what are they? They're not at the game.
Compared to like...
What's wrong with you?
Compared to like Old Miss, where there's women.
Everywhere. And they're getting dressed up for the games.
And they have all their sorority little things that they do.
Oh yeah, prior to
and they
games.
Come out and they're like, when they go into their sorority, they have all the like little like TikTok clips of all the hot girls coming out in like skanky outfits and doing like little dances.
Mm-hmm. So listen, I was in Ann Arbor.
Not that I'm watching that.
I was in Ann Arbor, and you had Texas visiting Michigan, dude.
Yeah,
the biggest game of the weekend.
Yeah,
and your College Game Day was there. You got Desmond Howard cruising around, Braylon Edwards.
Did you go to the game?
David Portnoy. No, I didn't go to the game because Chloe had a game at the same time.
Oh, okay.
The game was at 11 o'clock kickoff.
Yeah, and they
11 a.m. They did. But you know what? They lost, dude. Like everybody. Their quarterback, their head coach, their coordinators, all these position players that went to the NFL. Because, last year Michigan was undefeated. They won the national championship last year.
A little controversy.
So, with the stealing the...
Yeah.
I guess. And there's
what do you mean you guess? That was a huge story.
I got to watch. There's a documentary on that guy. And how was it?
Little nerd. Yeah.
Somebody said
I don't know. He's just standing there.
What was he doing? Filming practice?
He had glasses on. He's filming practice. He's doing this. We were like, who's this guy?
I think a lot of people probably do that.
How can you not do that? What's it matter? You know what I mean? Like, cares.
Football is the only sport. It's the
only sport.
In hockey, when you're morning skate, the visiting coaches are in the stands. Even during pregame warm-up, like, you go into a game, you know what the line combinations are for the other team. You know what their power play formations are. You know who's on the power play.
Yeah.
And in addition, you're watching video of their previous games. So
how do you hide that as a football program? How do you hide when you practice? You got tons of people watching. Like, you can't have one guy in there just filming something or just jotting down.
I don't know. Listen.
How dumb is that? But he did.
Belichick did it.
Belichick, you damn right he did. Even Tom Brady with the balls, deflate gate,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, everyone's looking for an edge. Is that how you win, though, by watching practice for the other team?
Yeah. What do you think football is? That's another thing, by the way, with football. You think hockey players have long meetings. Go be a football player. That's all it is remembering plays. It's like you study so much. It's not as freelance. Like, you have to watch every play. It's so fucking time-consuming.
You ever heard a quarterback at a high level of football? Have you been in the huddle before?
Yeah, man.
Okay.
I mean, it was a long time ago, just like you, Andy. Like, you act like you played D1.
High school.
5'1", 100 pounds.
The high school play.
Woman.
The high school play. The high school play calling is probably short. It's probably 34 wingback, pitch right, left, let's go. Whatever. On 2.
Yeah.
Okay. Where in college, it's like trailer, wide banana, 34XZ, double wide.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Stop confusing the people, man. We're
that's
talking
what
to
it
Canadians
is.
Here.
And it's like these guys have to remember every play. I don't know how the hell that they do it.
It's another thing. It's a lot, man. You got to study all the time.
And so a receiver's listening for the X, Y, Z in terms of which one, if they're the X, if they're the Y.
So anyway, don't bore the people. Hey, Tom Brady, I'll give you a little shout out. I thought he sounded great.
I heard he was terrible.
What?
That's what they were saying on Twitter.
Whoa, I thought he was great.
I didn't really listen.
I thought he was great.
I mean, I
listened. I'm like, that's Tom. He was great.
Was he?
Yeah. So my bad if anybody else wants to chirp. Like, I thought he was fucking awesome. I like him,
He
man.
got some negative, but, people just like to hate.
They hate
in
they
general.
Like, thank you.
I watch the Red Zone,
good.
so I'm not, they're going back and showing highlights here and there. I'm hearing them for sure. But, Greg Olson is probably pissed off because he was the number one guy. They pushed him down to number 2.
Yeah, they did. Greg Olson.
What are they paying Tom Brady to do that?
No, he signed. I thought it was like $30 million.
Something crazy.
Yeah.
They're making.
He was great.
But, there's a lot of controversy.
Interesting.
Though.
He had energy, and he was like adamant. Like, he was like, no, this one needs to happen. Why is he doing that? Blah, blah. I'm like,
really?
Yeah, Andy.
Like Romo?
Yeah. No, Romo was too goofy. Tom Brady was dead serious all the time.
Okay.
And I'm like, hell yeah. You know how Tom gets, man. Like, he's just
like locked in.
No, he is locked in. If you listen to any one of his interviews with some of these big time podcasts, when he breaks things down, dude, he is so goddamn hardcore.
I know.
I like him.
I like that too.
Damn right.
I like
and
Tom.
And he's wheeling whatever he wants on his yacht down in Tampa. There's videos of him just fucking. He's living this life.
He looks like
he looks damn
completely
good.
Different person.
Andy.
He's had a lot of.
He looks.
He's had a lot of work done.
His chin looks good.
He looks like Tammy Faye Baker, the male version.
Tammy Faye Baker, the religious woman.
Remember all her she'd cry and her makeup would just be everywhere.
Remember Giuliani one time, like a couple years ago?
Oh yeah,
he had that brown
coming off of his wig.
Yeah, I don't know what his
dude.
He was great in the 80s.
But listen, I would rather hear these fresh out of the game, elite superstars. There was a guy
that could chirp anybody.
Talib Kweli. What was his name? Talib.
Booger.
Booger McFarland.
He gets bashed by people.
Oh, he was so bad. But he's not bad in the studio. But Talib, dude, he played at Kansas and then he won a Super Bowl with the Broncos, I believe. I think he may have gotten caught with guns once or twice.
Probably.
But he was a color commentator, Cam, and it was hilarious, dude.
Entertained me.
Entertaining as hell. One of the best I've ever heard. And he just went away. Where'd he go?
He might have said
Did the executives not like him?
He might have said something goofy. He might have pissed off one of the wokey poo up top. They're like, I don't like that. And that's all it takes.
And then he's out?
He's out.
You got to listen. Somebody pull up some of his highlights.
I love that
and
stuff.
Listen to him.
I want craziness.
But he knows everything that's going on, dude.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
He's breaking everything down, and he's telling you what's going to happen before it even happens. And that's what Romo can do, too. Romo does a hell of a job, but Romo got so much attention and became so popular so fast that it became, you could tell they were trying to adhere to the.
Well, he would predict plays, and then he would do it, and then he fucked up.
I know.
And fucked up.
That's what I mean. So he was trying to cater to the audience too much.
And he's laughy and goofy. No, he gets chirped a lot.
Yeah.
Romo does. I don't mind it.
No,
he's fine. He's a damn good golfer.
Dude.
Handsome,
he's
fucking
very
cool
good
guy.
golfer.
He's cool. I like him, man. He doesn't bother me.
I'd probably look to go golfing with
him.
So
Draisaitl, by the way, to get into hockey because we're all over the place, but who cares? It's Monday. There's football going on. All you Canadians too. You're all watching football anyway.
What's going on in the CFL, dude? Tell us.
It's all good. But anyway, Draisaitl signs that monster ticket, right? Okay. Then they compare him to what he'd be making in the NBA, what rank it would be, to the MLB, to the NFL, and it was just, I mean, lights and daylights out of 172nd.
But can I call a timeout?
I'm just throwing it out. I want to hear what you have to say about it. That's why I did it.
What do you think about it, first off?
Well, I look at it like, okay, NBA, they're so marketable. I mean, they are. You got 5 fucking guys. They're all 7 foot. You have nothing covering their faces. They can walk anywhere. Everybody knows who they are. People watch it. NBA is gigantic. Football is different story. Football is the biggest thing going on in the country. They have so many different sponsors and whatnot. Boom, boom, boom. They're fucking marketed everywhere. Baseball, you play every damn day. Okay? You play 162 games. You have all these home games. You could rent the money value, the TV money is so high because you're playing every fucking day. The NHL is kind of in that in-between zone to where hard to market the guys. You don't play every day, but you do play a lot. You're going to Canada a lot. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but I didn't like it.
They're not as marketable as NBA players.
Not even close.
And I think that's what people have to come to realize. I've been critical, too, of the league in the past and saying, hey, they don't market these guys. They don't market their stars. But listen, I've said this all along. They're just not very marketable. You know what I'm saying? They're marketable to the hockey fan, and that's about it. But they're not marketable to the rest of the sports fan, both from a personality standpoint and a popularity standpoint. It just doesn't work. Otherwise, and I say this all the time. How many times have you heard me say this, Cam? And I'll use Leon Draisaitl as the latest example. But if I am the CEO of a Fortune 500 company or some big mega company, why would I invest my dollars in Leon Draisaitl versus another athlete? I'm not saying that I would or wouldn't. I'm saying, why would I? What is it about Leon Draisaitl that I would invest my dollars and feel like there's going to be an ROI and that's going to come back into my pocket and it's going to benefit my company by having him be the spokesperson for my company?
In the United States, no. In Canada, yes. There's a big difference. In Germany, 100%.
Okay.
Handsome guy, you're damn right. In
Fine.
Germany, he's got his perfume or cologne, whatever it is. Not in the U.S., but that's what you need.
Right. You
need U.S. So you already got fucking Canada's market.
I'm not saying it doesn't count in these other countries, but I'm talking about the U.S.
Yeah.
If you watch a national game in Canada, I mean, yeah, shit, you got Connor McDavid doing Gatorade commercials and McDonald's commercials and stuff like that, and you even have the Kachucks, American players, who are doing car commercials and with the whole family, and they're doing Tim Horton commercials and all this stuff up in Canada, national advertising campaigns. Yeah. But for whatever reason, it's just not it doesn't translate to the U.S. sports fan.
No, it doesn't.
When's the last time you watched SportsCenter and all of a sudden there was just a commercial, and not a SportsCenter commercial, but like a commercial for like a big time corporation, fast food chain, Coke, Pepsi, whatever, Old Spice, like Charles Barkley used to do back in the day. He may be the only one.
He might be the only one. Did Mario get that
ever seen?
Did Mario get that much attention when it comes to national U.S.? I don't know.
No.
Wayne Gretzky did.
And he
might be the only one.
And he went to L.A.
L.A. baby. Yeah. No wonder.
And he had a actress wife.
Andy. It was Wayne.
Yeah.
And that's it. I think Holly.
Sidney Crosby.
I think Holly did some things.
I don't think he did national campaigns.
I'm just thinking.
He went on David Letterman.
No. I'm just looking at the big superstars in hockey that got the most attention in the U.S. It's Wayne Gretzky.
Mm-hmm.
I think Holly could be up there, but not even close. I could have, but maybe that's just me being biased because I'm from St. Louis.
Hockey fans all know who Brett Hull is. I bet you a lot of the NBA
Who's
fans
the next
don't know
one?
who Brett Hull is.
Who's the next one? Is it Crosby?
No, because Crosby he's not marketable for if you're in Pittsburgh and you're a Mercedes dealership and you want to have him advertise during Penguins games, the Mercedes dealership, or some popular restaurant there.
What about the New York teams? Who's the biggest New York guy? Mess?
Carshield's trying to do some stuff with
Tim Peel?
With some and two actors, whatever. But they've had like Ryan O'Reilly and Pat Maroon and Braden Shen, these guys.
But that's a local.
It's local stuff, man, and it's not.
What about the big Rangers teams? Who's a big? Lundqvist.
Messier,
Lundqvist, maybe. Okay.
Lundqvist.
You guys tell us too, by the way. We're just having a conversation.
Probably had some endorsement deals in magazines, for example. Yeah. I don't see it on television. You know what I mean?
I bet she's in more commercials than you think.
Maybe for Rangers games on MSG.
I might have saw him on a commercial for like a cologne, like a real expensive cologne, where he's
But Cam, tennis stars have more endorsements
probably
than hockey players. Golfers more endorsements than hockey players.
Caitlin Clark.
Who?
Caitlin Clark does.
Caitlin Clark is balling out, dude.
Balling out.
And I love what Charles Barkley and some of these guys coming to her defense right now.
I like Portnoy on it too. He's giving a lot of
but his
attention.
But listen, Portnoy, as good as he is, and I love most of the stuff that he does, man. Honestly, I think he's great.
Fucking hilarious, man.
But his reaction or endorsement of Caitlin Clark is somewhat predictable for me. Like I would expect him to have that opinion. And I don't know if a lot of people expect to hear that from Charles Barkley right off the bat. Maybe they do. Or some of these other, NBA legends that are coming to her defense and basically, pointing the finger at a lot of these other female players, former players who are jealous. And, it's just a completely different animal. Like, they look so stupid, man. They look so bad.
So dumb.
Okay? She's putting so much money in their pockets, they've never gotten attention, really.
They don't know what to do with her, man.
In that league, and I'm very familiar with that league.
And, like, Caitlin plays it cool. Like, she's not taking selfies
of herself.
She doesn't
say a
look
damn
at
word,
my swag.
dude. She doesn't say a word.
Look at my swag. Like, the haters don't hate. They're going to hate. Like, she doesn't do any of that stuff. She just goes and plays, dude. And she's dropping threes. And I don't give, like, no offense to WNBA. The rest of the WNBA is about as boring as you could possibly imagine. Caitlin Clark's on the field or on the court. I'll watch it because she's unbelievably entertaining. But then there's a drop-off by a million miles.
No, there's not a drop-off in talent.
A million miles.
No, that girl, Asia Wilson.
I'm talking about entertainment.
Yeah, entertainment.
They're all talented in a way.
You're talking about from popularity.
No. I'm just talking about, I'm watching as not a fan, and I see this girl, Caitlin Clark, cruising around, doing crazy things.
Yeah.
I don't see anybody else.
No one's handling the ball like her.
Close to
no
that.
one's distributing the ball like her.
No big deal.
No one can pass and has the vision, and no one drills the acrobatic threes the way that she does. Like Steph Curry, dude. It's crazy.
It's crazy. And I don't give a shit about it. But I'm just like, she is entertaining. She's the one taking everybody to the next level. She's grabbing people like me, like, who's Andy's virtue signal now? But Andy's paying attention because of Caitlin Clark, and that's it. I know he's going to say, no, I know. No, you don't. Virtue signaling.
She can go to her right. She can go to her left.
Virtue signaling is what
step out.
The average person is watching a Caitlin Clark, but nobody else. It's unbelievable. Good for her.
Yeah, but I don't watch the games. I'm not. I do watch the highlights, and I.
You're paying attention to Caitlin.
I'm paying attention. If I hear her name, I'm like, oh,
there it is.
What'd she do?
If I hear Angel Reese, I'm like,
and
blah, blah,
I see
blah.
the highlights coming through on social media and stuff like that, and I'll pay attention. Asia Wilson is going to be the MVP. She was a former South Carolina Gamecock, played for Don Staley. Don Staley, one of the best players of her generation.
They don't care.
Okay, so
we're catering to them.
But the other one is the one that kind of annoys me a little bit, and that is Angel.
She's getting annoying.
I think she's hurt, out for the year.
Oh, really?
She is a double.
I like that Cameron Brink for a while.
She's a double waiting to happen. But
she's like 6'9" or something like that.
I've never seen someone shoot from the hip though. Like she
She's not supposed to.
I don't know.
It's all good. But how about the PWHL? Got finally the Professional Women's Hockey League. Now they have names of their teams.
Oh, do they?
Yeah. It only took a year and a half.
And the girls who won, I think there was the Minnesota Wilderness.
We don't even know
the team.
Can I say something?
No, they
about
got the trophy. Each of them for like their own day with it.
Oh,
yeah.
Big parade.
No. I didn't say it, but I'm saying they got the trophy. Like, like the Stanley Cup, the players get get the cup day.
Here's my point.
The trophy day.
When the PWHL started, it got a lot of attention because I remember watching. We're doing radio in the morning, and I was watching highlights all morning for hours before the show even started. And I see fucking WNBA football, blah 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 blah. Some hockey stuff was thrown in the mix on ESPN, and I saw at the beginning part a lot of women's hockey. I'm like, good. It was actually balancing a little bit with the WNBA, a little bit there. Then
it's not even close,
Andy. Then it stopped, and I heard nothing, even on Twitter, even on social media. I don't know. Maybe people are doing it. It's just not hitting my algorithm. I don't see a fucking thing.
Sportsnet's gonna miss Jeff Merrick for that, man. He was the one guy who was like
But that's Sportsnet.
He would like break like
we're talking US.
signings and trades and stuff like,
US.
and like nobody else is even like
I remember
covering it.
We're talking U.S. though, Andy.
Yeah, I know.
It was, remember, sport, and then it stopped. Didn't see one thing for months and months and months and months.
Brian Burke was like in charge of the Women's Players Association.
Where'd it go?
Because here's the thing with the Women's Professional Hockey League, it was
unfortunately.
It was like people felt obligated, like because of equality and inclusion and all that we're going to talk about it. But the audience really wasn't resonating with the hockey audience. And I hope that it does moving forward, man. I hope they get a Caitlin Clark. You know what I'm saying?
Well, why do you think? So the WNBA, they all threw all this money in promoting these two clubs.
She could probably play hockey too.
They threw all this money in, especially to the WNBA. They forced the issue, and finally you got this girl, Caitlin Clark, who's doing unbelievable things. People are just watching flocking because of her,
excelling out arenas.
So they both started off, and unfortunately, the women's league, they don't have that yet. I don't know if they can have that.
Well, you just got to hope that they have a superstar like that, because the WNBA has had popular players in the past because of the Olympic success and stuff like that.
No one cared.
No, but like Lisa Leslie, for example,
the numbers will show.
Cheryl Swoops, people knew the names. I guess Hillary Knight, the name, and some of these other girls.
In the hockey world, but Caitlin Clark's name is for a guy in fucking South County. and the woman over there and the little girl going to school
there.
You can't
compare it.
You can't even compare it.
I think little boys are probably wearing Caitlin Clark jerseys.
Little boys are. Is Ty?
No. He actually wore a Justin Tatum jersey in school today.
Excuse me?
Jason Tatum. Sorry.
Excuse me?
Justin's his daddy. I'll give Justin a shout out. That's my dog from back in the day.
So anyway,
but his dad's Justin. He wore a Jason Tatum jersey to school today.
We're just all.
It's Green Day.
Green Day. We're just going all over the place.
Every day is
today.
a different. Like when you have kids, dude. Like
I know.
The emails don't stop, Cam. They come in.
Yeah.
Dozens at a time.
How'd Chloe do?
Great.
Did she listen to my little pump up speech I gave her?
Oh yeah, she did.
Did she go after the ball?
Yes.
Like go after it, baby.
It's just a different.
Like go after that thing.
The level of soccer that she plays at, it's different. It's not like Cam. One game who they played against a team that won the national championship last year.
Good girls are fucking
and it was a 0-0 final.
Good.
It was just a hell of a game, dude.
Back and forth.
Physical.
She getting bumped around.
Oh yeah.
Does she bop right up? Like what's up?
Oh yeah. Ball possession.
Hell yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Strategic.
Tell her I said good job.
Like it's soccer on the female side, I think maybe
I like it, man.
The best sport to watch. Not that I don't like the other ones, because WNBA is very close to my. They're gonna make the playoffs now. The Fever, which they weren't going to before, and Angel, her team is like terrible, by the way. The Chicago, whatever they are, Chicago. What's the team name? Chicago what?
Man, I don't know, but they were supposed to be better, but
Caitlin, dude, I'll give her credit because,
awesome.
Like McDavid, like LeBron, like Crosby, she came into the league with a shit ton of hype, and she has 1,000% lived up to the hype.
Yep.
And not many athletes can do that.
Yep.
So, so the Draisaitl, though, you brought it up because I thought you were going to talk about his record deal. In terms of the AAV, I think he's at $14 million. So then now, McDavid will eventually become north of $14 million, which is what Draisaitl stand for. So McDavid will get to 15 or whatever he gets to. And yeah, in comparison to the other sports, it's not there. Now, I would assume that, and it's not even an assumption, it's like reality. Yeah, he's talked to Connor McDavid about what their future plans are. But you know what? If Edmonton's going to put that type of money on paper, I don't think, to me, it wouldn't matter if McDavid stayed or not. I'd want him to stay because I want to win a Stanley Cup, but you got to take care of yourself first and foremost. Not every team in the league has that type of cap space where they could do a sign and trade right now and make that happen. Plus, appease the Edmonton Oilers and offer a package that would allow you to even get Draisaitl. It's a different situation than even like what you found with Matthew Tkachuk when he got traded and Huberdeau goes the other way.
Huberdeau.
But $14 million is tough to squeeze in, even with the cap going up. But, these guys that are like asking these questions at the press conference, do you think that Edmonton's going to be able to build the necessary players around you to win with you and potentially McDavid, or the likelihood of McDavid making more than you? How are you going to be able to build a winner? But you know what? Like the cap's going to be going up, and guys are going to want to go there and whatever. And with that two-headed monster, and with Bouchard likely getting extended, they're going to be competitive for a long, long time.
I agree.
And the cap is going to be going up and up and up. And you're going to have a situation coming up, Cam. It's not going to be too long from where we are right now, where NHL once again is going to turn into Major League Baseball, with the salary cap getting north of $100 million. And when it gets north of 100, you're going to have a handful of teams who can spend to the cap and a number of teams who can't spend to the cap. And the teams who can spend to the cap are going to be the teams that are going to be contending for a Stanley Cup. So you're going to see a separation coming, I think, in the near future in the National Hockey League, where just a handful of teams will go into the season every year with a chance to win. And there's going to be several teams going into the season every year that have zero chance of winning.
I know.
You know what I mean?
No, I do. I'm excited about the season, man. I really am. And Draisaitl is one of the best players in the league. Like he is.
Oh, yeah.
He deserves that money. No one's really chirping him for that.
Why would you chirp him?
Nah, I don't know. No one is, I said. He deserves every penny of that.
Yeah. I don't think there's anybody who would say, well, he's getting overpaid.
That's why I said no one's chirping him about it. Sometimes that happens.
Yeah.
We're like, whoa, this guy's getting paid. If you gave that to Mitchie Marnie, probably people would chirp that.
The Crosby
but
situation.
You give it to Draisaitl, you're like,
the Crosby situation's more interesting because, listen, I'm not going to sit here and tell Crosby where he should go, if he should stay or go. Listen, he doesn't owe another damn thing to that city of Pittsburgh. He's given them everything, okay, including 3 Stanley Cups. and he completely revived that franchise.
Save the franchise.
Save the franchise. Yep. Okay. So now I'm sure he's got a ton of relationships there. He can go to any market in the league and instantly get whatever he wants and create new relationships. But, maybe it's deeper than that, man. It's his family that comes into town. Maybe they're comfortable. They know people, whatever. I don't know what he's thinking about doing. But
what would you do?
I do know this. The worst model you can have in hockey is the Pittsburgh model, where you have aging players and you don't make the playoffs. That's terrible. And you're committing to them with contract extensions and paying them, believing that you are a playoff team and that you are even a contending team, and that you don't even make the playoffs. That is the worst case scenario for any general manager, certainly any owner in the league, and that's where Pittsburgh is at right now. So if I'm Sidney Crosby,
what would you do?
Considering where that organization is at right now, and I have a handful of years left where I can truly play at an elite level, because he did that last year, man. This guy, I think he still has a handful of years left where he can play at the highest level. For me personally, I probably would want to explore other options to see if I can go team up with somebody, go play with a buddy of mine that's on a good team. Maybe it's Nathan McKinnon, whatever. Not saying Colorado couldn't even afford Sidney Crosby. I'm just saying, where would you want to go? Who can afford you? And do you want to take another run at trying to win? Or do you think you can do it in Pittsburgh? They just let Gensel go, for example. They're letting other guys go that you were close with, that you had great chemistry with. And they're an aging team that just missed the playoffs. So I have a hard time understanding who Pittsburgh is, what Pittsburgh is. And that's a tough situation for the general manager to be in, too. Because if I'm the GM, I know I can get a lot for Sidney Crosby if I were to trade him. And I also know that it's tough to truly reconstruct the organization and rebuild at the necessary level and timeline when you have a player of his stature with, a contract negotiation looming or existing as it is right now. He may have a deal done.
What do you think he wants?
They may announce it in the next couple days. Who knows?
What do you think he's going to get?
I would think he'd be somewhere in that, $11, $12 million range.
So how can...
But maybe
what contending team could take that on,
But I don't even like throwing that out. I don't know what he's looking to get, based on who he is.
Let's look at the contending teams that are going on.
He should be somewhere in that range, don't you think?
I agree.
He's not going to sign for $8 million. You know what I mean? Would he?
Ovi did.
Ovi did several years ago. Yeah. And he signed the richest contract in NHL history at the time. That was over $100 million.
I know, but he still he signed
and
it
wasn't 8. I think it was north of that.
9.
When he signed his $100 million deal.
But then he signed like a 4-year deal after that.
We'll have to double check that.
Yeah, and that was a long time. That was still when he was younger. So you think Crosby's going to get 11 to 12?
I don't know what he's going to get, dude. I have no idea. We might have to take that. I don't know. You're putting me on the spot. I don't know what he's going to negotiate.
I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
Because,
I didn't just ask
it's a different situation, versus a guy who's 27.
We're having a conversation, dude.
27, 28, or Austin Matthews, or even a Mitch Marner.
I say he just
these
stays
guys.
in fucking Pittsburgh.
Yeah, and I'd have no problem with that. He should do whatever he wants to do.
Stay there and help guide, and then own part of the team and be the whatever you want to be with that. I don't know. I don't want to see him in a different jersey, to be honest with you, Andy.
No?
Nah. He's just Pittsburgh through and through, man. I don't know. Even if he has to, weigh out his last years and they're not very competitive, but he's, grooming some of these young kids up. I don't know.
So Ovi signed a 5-year deal that expires at the end of the 25-26 season. So he's got 2 more years left on the deal at 9.5.
Okay.
So you think 3 years ago, that's what that was probably right up there,
It's like 11 now. 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Kept going up. Yeah, okay. 11 million, but that's tough, man. I just hope he stays with Pittsburgh and is somewhat competitive, and we see him in the playoffs again. But him playing for Dallas or I don't know. I don't know where you go. I don't know who'd have room for him. A competitive team, a Nashville, or I don't know. I don't know if I like him in any other jersey. Stay there, ride it out. You've done everything.
Team I wouldn't mind seeing him play. And listen, Blues fans aren't going to like to hear this. Well,
the Blues. Well, yeah.
No, he's so tight with Nathan McKinnon. Maybe it'd be cool to see him play with Nathan McKinnon.
Andy, you might be right on.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. It just would be odd to see that, but we've seen that with so many other guys throughout history, so it's all good. But yeah, to see those two flying up
without putting any of the financial considerations in place,
well,
cap space, all that type of stuff.
That's the problem.
But I'm saying, if there was one place that, and he trains in,
I'd like to see him with
trains
Bedard.
in Vail and stuff like that.
I'd like to see him with all kinds of different players, man. You know, I would. He's so fun to watch. He makes everybody so much better. Yeah, I like to see him play with all kinds of different players, but I also just like to see him grind it out with the Pittsburgh Penguins. And then probably own the team or whatever. After
I just don't have interest in seeing him put up 85 points a year and miss the playoffs.
No doubt. I get you on that. But hockey season's coming. How many days, Andy? 30?
Yes,
5?
somewhere around
35-ish?
Maybe, somewhere in that range.
See, I'll watch some preseason games. You know, back in the day when those preseason games were going on, you had monsters fighting all the time. Now it's just kind of a sloppy.
Well, because guys were trying to make the team.
Monsters. I remember them calling up guys from like Nowhereville that are like 6'8".
Nowhereville, like Saskatchewan.
From Saskatchewan, 6'9". Like, who the fuck is this guy? And he's just in camp fighting everybody. There's fights everywhere. Like, that was so entertaining. Shit shows. Now it's just like a scrimmage game to get your skill going, to see if guys could play different positions and whatnot. So, like, just like preseason football games, I'm like, meh. But preseason hockey games back in the day, I'm like, oh, snap. Let's go.
Could you
Shit
imagine,
show. You know,
Connor McDavid face first on the concrete, handcuffed, right outside of the arena in Edmonton?
Pissed me off, dude. I don't like that.
Because he was driving fast.
Tyreek Hill and Connor McDavid.
But I don't know. I know, dude. Trust me. People are going to come at me and be like,
not going to be like that.
Yeah, no, there's a big difference.
Connor McDavid is about as squeaky clean as you can get.
Oh, my God.
You know. If you said Connor McDavid had a warrant out for something, I'd be like, what?
Yeah, I know.
If you said Tyreek Hill did, I'd be like, yeah, okay, probably did. Not that he did. I don't know. But I wouldn't be surprised. I like Tyreek. Fuck, he's fun to watch. And a nice touchdown. I didn't like to see that, though. I'm saying, Andy and I are both saying, when we saw that video, I'm like, that's fucked up.
Free cheetah.
Burned his house down.
You think he did that?
No, his kid did. He's a lighter. You gotta watch that now, man. Yeah, oh my God. When I said Andy was gonna get white dudes for Kamala tattoo on his lower back, I got 15,000 text messages from that.
But you know, I'm not part of that.
I forgot I said that, and people were texting me like, "That's the funniest thing I've ever heard."
I've seen some of those.
I got y'all. What that?
White dudes for Kamala. But apparently, they have her in a hotel room, and they are like preparing her for this, debate. Even going as far as to have somebody impersonate Donald Trump, dressed like him and look like him.
That's easy to do.
And they have like lights and a stage and everything.
Shane Gillis. It's my boy. You know? So we'll see what happens.
Are you going to watch the debate?
Yeah, fuck yeah. I'm going to put a fire on, make a couple cocktails. I love barbecuing.
Is that a gas fire?
Yeah. Kate Boson?
Yeah. I just like watching the wood fire. I love smelling the wood fire.
I love wood fire,
so
too.
I put the wood fire on all the time.
It does smell your house up pretty good. You gotta.
Oh, it smells good though, man.
At times, it does smell the house up. I like the gas. This is easy. I got stuff in the backyard. I got a little pit. If I want to smell that smoke, I got it, man. So,
firstform.com. Again, we're getting all the people who are entering the contest, Cam. So keep it coming.
When are we gonna pick the winner?
Soon. We're gonna do a couple of them.
Yeah, because I
just want to allow time for enough people.
Yeah, no, I get that, and people are messaging me with their kids because there's a lot of kids stuff on First
I
Form
know,
too.
and they're messaging me the same thing.
There's a lot of There's a lot of kid stuff that you could buy.
Yeah, I know that. I have kids. Yeah.
I'm not talking to you, idiot. I'm talking to you guys out there too. So if you got kids, man, if you look up on their website, they have all kinds of stuff for kids as well. So when you tag a kid in there, I'm kind of like, and incentivize a little bit more, you know. So
Cam's like the expert on kids too. You were talking about kids, and they were like, "Well, do you have kids?" And he's like, "No," but he knows everything about kids too.
What do I know? I know nothing about them. Well, I was a kid.
Yeah,
you know, I was a kid at one time, so I kind of know that part. But raising them, I don't. You know, don't ask me anything about kids. I don't know. You know what I mean?
You have dogs.
I got doggies. A little kitty cat that's
send us your order number and send us your order, and then you're automatically registered, and you're going to get a prize pack if we draw your name from First Form as well as from Cam and Strick, so you'll be automatically entered. So do that today and keep sending those in, man. We appreciate it. And we're going to do that drawing very, very soon. But you got to send us your order, and you got to use our link. So it's firstform.com/Cam&Strick. Do it today.
Let's go.
All right, bench clearers, baby.
Right yonder.
You should be wearing one today. Actually, you should.
It's pretty chilly today. It's actually nice out, man.
It's nice out, dude. I was in.
I'd still wear one though.
In Michigan, though, dude, it was 45 degrees.
45?
Oh yeah.
Damn.
In the morning, it was like 40 degrees.
Oh, but like, what about
at her game
but like
time?
65?
No, I think it got
55?
to like 50 something, maybe.
That's good weather right there. That's
You're right on the water, dude. You know what I mean?
Cold, brisk, chill off that water.
Yeah, so you can feel it.
Yeah, big old lake. You dang right. I love Michigan, man. Michigan's fun. Like, it's a cool place. Now, Detroit's fucked up, you know. But if you want to go, it's 7 hours away from Missouri. If you want to go, like, rent, like, a nice cabin somewhere on the lake, like, they got a bunch of stuff up there.
Mm-hmm.
You could drive up there. I like Michigan. It's beautiful. It's big.
No, Michigan is absolutely beautiful.
It is. It's not that far away from Missouri.
And Detroit was fine, too, you know?
Detroit's okay. It's getting better.
Yeah, it's not, I mean, it's just...
It's bad.
It's hard to chirp anywhere when you live in St. Louis.
There it is.
I hate to say
Andy,
it.
you're goddamn right.
You know what I mean?
It's hard. People are like in Detroit, like, fuck you.
They're like,
you're like number one in
like,
murder.
You're like ripping Detroit and just being critical. And then like, oh, yeah, where are you from?
St. Louis.
Oh, God.
No, I live not in St. Louis, though. And there's a big reason for that. Mm-hmm. That's probably why. Actually, that is why. That's why a lot of people, like in St. Louis, is so goofy, man. Like, you could be downtown and work downtown as a weather guy, as a news guy. Andy and I have done it before. We've worked in Channel 2, Channel 4, Channel 5. If Andy goes in and he eats a vegan sandwich and a little bit of vegan dressing gets on his shirt, where are you going to get a new shirt at? Downtown St. Louis, you'd have to drive 15 fucking miles to where Andy lives just to go to a mall to buy a shirt. There's nothing downtown. Mm-hmm. That's unbelievable. It's a ghost town during the day. If you can't even shop down there. That's a problem. They need to have some sort of incentive to bring people into the city.
You can go in. It's a little closer. There's stores in like the Central West End.
You got to get out of St. Louis. You got to go in maybe the mid corridor.
You got to get out of like downtown.
It's not good.
No.
It's not good.
No.
Like, people have been bitching about that for years, man. They're like, fuck, I got a stain on my shirt. You better bring another one because there's nowhere else to buy something around here.
Or if you sweat through it.
God, I sweated so bad I've embarrassed myself on TV in this town before.
Your hands are sweating.
A couple times I was so embarrassing. I was filling in for Frank Cusimano, who's a big dog here, Channel 5, and I was doing the sports for him. And I'm reading everything. I'm like, sweating my ass off, like, wow. The Blues won, blah, 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 blah. And I'm reading the teleprompter. And then like, I'm on a live cam, and I have to walk over to my seat to where all these other people are sitting, the newscast. And my seat was lowered all the way down, and I didn't know. And I'm about to sit, and I went, well, blop! And I'm sitting there like this, and they couldn't even, and the camera's on me. Oh, my God.
Were you nervous? Is that what it was?
Yeah. And then the lady next to me, sweet woman, who's been there for years, lovely woman, she sees me sweating in a live shot. She hits me on the knee, takes her little napkin that she has, her own little, like, probably cost a bunch. She probably got it at goddamn Neiman's Markets, gives it to me, and I'm like this, sweat, and I go, and I kind of sneak it back over to she's like, no, go ahead and keep that. I put it back on my leg. I'm like, I kept that. And it's just fucking embarrassing. I sweat a lot. I mean, people were like, it was hilarious, but I was sweating so much, man. It was crazy. I don't know. I guess I got nervous. All of a sudden, I get nervous.
You get nervous.
And then it goes like this. It goes like this. Like, all my pores open up. You
got to slow down. Just slow down.
I did good.
Today, you're going 100,000 miles an hour.
I'm drinking
today.
this energy.
Well, is that what it is? Don't blame it on the energy.
I mean, I gotta bring energy, Andy. We can't rely on you for that.
Jesus.
What do we do? We gotta do my thing.
What else are you doing today?
Today? I don't know. Today, I'm probably going to go back and take a nap with Kate. We're both tired.
So enter our sweepstakes and do it today. Bench clears, we were talking about that just a second ago. Look, you got the a couple options here. They got the old school retro ones, but they have every single team. And now that it's getting chilly outside, they've got the hoodies. So I highly recommend you go out and get one of those hoodies or get one of those windbreakers too. And If you're a player out there listening and you want to join the Bench Clearers team, man, hit me up
Damn right.
We'll hook you up.
They'll hook you up, you know. But yeah, no, these were great over the summer. But now they got other options too.
They got American League teams too.
And they got cool logos. So check that out, by the way, on the
American
website.
League does.
The American League has some cool stuff. And so we're like, I like that. I like to have something different where people are like, well, what is that?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So check them out. They got all kinds of stuff. This material's light and nice, and it lasts a long time. And you can wash it over and over and over again, and it still shows up the same, and it doesn't shrink or anything like that. So they're the real deal, baby. Damn right. And they got winter stuff because it's wintertime. Winter is coming.
Yes.
Just so you know.
But you can put these over a hoodie.
Yeah,
like you could wear them to a game, dude. Put them over a hoodie.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you don't have.
What about a turtleneck?
Probably.
You ever wear turtlenecks anymore?
Never.
Remember those are gigantic in
the 90s.
the 90s.
No, they started coming back.
Did they?
Recently. I just don't have the. I'm just not a turtleneck. Guy. A lot of people are. They can.
Well, now the hockey player is going to have
a lot of hockey players will. It's a classy look, dude.
Well, they have to have the neck guard now, right?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So
in the NHL,
I think that's American League.
The American League,
yeah,
for sure.
So that's what's going to be the NHL.
The
soon.
kids have to wear them too.
Yeah, I remember wearing them in AAA for a little bit there. I remember looking at little pictures and I got neck guards.
I remember
the thick ones like.
Yeah, I remember when I was in high school. Our coach, it was a requirement. You had to wear one. So it wasn't like
I saw your picture. It's hilarious.
Which one?
Your shoulder pads are here, and your neck guards. You couldn't even like see down.
I had those big Donzi shoulder pads from back in the day. They were like football shoulder pads almost. The black and orange ones.
Yeah, those things would like hurt people when you hit them.
Yeah,
like it's like concrete.
Well, it would just like it wouldn't hurt when you'd get hit either.
Yeah, but when you hit somebody in the shoulder with one of those or in the jaw, like you're gonna knock them out. Those things are hard.
Use the promo code Cam and Strick. But order your bench clearers today, man. There's no better way to rep your team when it's hot or cold. Very lightweight material, and they've got every team. And we've got some fun stuff happening very, very soon with bench clearers. So check that out. Great company. They've got thousands and thousands of 5-star reviews as well. Little John, by the way, he reps bench clearers all the time.
Little John? Yeah. What?
What?
Yeah. Reminds me of Dave Chappelle's skit with him. Little John.
Snap your fingers.
Snap your fingers. That was like 2007, baby. That's Harry's downtown St. Louis.
You can do it all by yourself.
Let me see you do it. Dun, 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 dun,
what?
Dun, 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 dun. What?
And Artemi Panarin.
Yeah.
He also reps his Rangers tank.
Yeah.
So
speed it up. Good God. What?
Hat launch, baby. Hey, listen, America's #1 source for customized hats is the one and only Hat Launch. Check it out today, hatlaunch.com. Get your crew some hats.
I agree.
Like whatever it is. It could be your fantasy football league.
Yeah.
Could be your kids' soccer team. Could be the fall ball team. Could be anything. Whatever it is, dude, every hat tells a story. And no better place to get your customized hats than Hat Launch. They've got Shirt Launch coming out very, very soon. Great people. Do it today. Great prices. Tell them we sent you, hatlaunch.com.
Hey, by the way, all you guys, your fantasy football guys, buy your team, because I know some of you guys are psycho about this. Mm-hmm. Buy your team. Go to Hat Launch. Order up how many ever guys you have on your team, 20 or whatever. They'll get you a good deal on a hat for your team name. And then let me know what the discipline is when you lose, because I don't fuck with this shit, but I know guys that will go to Vegas, do all their stuff, and at the end, whoever the loser is, they'll fly back to Vegas, they'll party, but that son bitch ain't flying private back home. He's taking a Greyhound bus all the way back because he's a loser.
The fantasy.
Or they get to dress crazy to a game.
The other day, a fantasy, the loser, because he came in last place, he had to go to a bar that opened up at 6 a.m. and closes at 2. And for every drink he had to stay the whole time. So 6 a.m. to 2 a.m. So every drink he had can shave 30 minutes off of his time there. So if he had like 6 cocktails, that's 3 hours. So he could leave at like 11. But you're still there from like 6.
I'll crush 25 beer.
And that would get you 12 hours off. 12 and a half.
Then I'm only there for a couple hours then, right?
You'd be there from like till about 6 or 7 p.m. Yeah.
Shit, what's up? I'd rather do that than get on a Greyhound bus and go.
Hell yeah.
And go 3 days home.
Yeah.
Oh man, I ain't doing that. Going to the bathroom when I'm back.
3 days home. Where are they coming from?
I think it's they take the long route. So he's supposed to take.
Where's he coming from?
Vegas.
Oh, they go to Vegas.
So he'll like go down to fucking.
Oh no, hell no! I'd rather go to the bar all day long.
Andy, that's nightmarish.
I just talk to people.
Sit at the bar all day. We've done that.
Take a nap at the bar.
Just like the bar. Ugh. I remember going to bars back in the day, and my Hoosier buddies will go up to the bar and get stuck, and they have to go to the bathroom, and they'll fucking piss right there while they're ordering a drink. And like, what the fuck is this? You see guys do that. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, that's nasty. Don't do that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I see some nasty things at the bar, man. It'd be tough to be a bar owner. I tell you that right now, especially downtown St. Louis. They're getting robbed left and right. But just to deal with all the bullshit, the drunks, your staff, are they ripping you off? I told you, we talked about that on Bar Rescue. Like, God, just ordering more drinks, like pouring a little bit extra vodka in each drink. You add that up, boom, it's thousands of dollars a month. Yeah. It's too much.
They told you that, yeah.
Yeah. John Tapper, you don't believe him? That guy's.
So what, if you pour a little extra, it adds up
to every drink.
Is that why they measure their shots?
Thousands, Andy. That could take you over the limit, like, you know what I mean? Like, so. Anyway.
Get your hats from Hat Launch. And do it
for your fantasy football team, guys, and take a picture and send it to us.
Proper cannabis, baby.
I stopped by there.
Yeah, good, man.
Yeah,
great
man.
people.
Said, everybody
use that promo code CAMASTRICT20. It's going to save you 20%.
They hooked me up, dude. They hooked me up all weekend. Yeah, I put on like 12 pounds because of that, I think.
What do you mean, dude?
Because
You're such a crazy man. What do you mean, 12 pounds from what?
Because I get Stone Cold Steve Austin, and then I'm like,
and you eat a lot?
I'm hungry. Kate, let's order from Kate.
You're like a high school kid.
No, I'm like a stoner that eats a lot.
In high school.
Normal people do that. They don't have to be in high school to do that. It just makes you hungry. I don't know. So I ate a lot of food.
But they have the best selection, best customer service, best quality.
Yep.
And you don't have to be like Cam, who's just getting so stoned, like eating Doritos all day long. Like if you're having trouble with pain.
True that.
If you're having sleep issues,
true that.
If you want to make yourself feel good about yourself, they have things for everybody.
You got anxiety, whatever the case, whatever works for you. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So if you just want to get your mind right and watch college football all weekend and eat food, like it's all good.
You can do that too.
You know?
Yeah.
Just be careful with it, and you know.
Yeah, but don't feel like it's just like it's not for like. You just play video games all day long and sit in your basement and eat.
That's fun too.
You know.
I gotta set that damn PS5 up I got, man. I'll tell you that right now. Right, Maddie? I'm missing out, aren't I? Damn. God.
Blue Note Roofing, baby.
Oh.
He's the best, dude.
Yeah, man.
Ask for Dave.
Big Dave. And I'll tell you this, man. A lot of you guys had hail damage last May. I'm telling you, there's a lot of hail damage in St. Louis.
Wow.
So take advantage of that. Talk to your insurance company and give Dave a call at Blue Note Roofing, and he'll come give you a goddamn brand new roof.
I'm in a survivor pool for football, like where you.
I'm telling about.
I know.
What are we doing?
And then
you can't keep your concentration. What's wrong with you today? You okay?
And then if
you angry, Andy?
But today. I did another one through Dave. He put me in one too through his like work one or whatever.
Yeah.
Through Dave at Blue Note Roofing, and dude, I thought there was a chance that Buffalo was going to lose. I'm like, don't tell me I'm going to lose in the first week. They were playing to Arizona. They were down like 13-3 or something. Early in the game.
Buffalo. I thought Buffalo played Mizzou.
Buffalo College did. Oh. This is the Buffalo Bills.
Oh, my bad.
They were playing Arizona.
Oh, I thought you were talking about college.
No,
I don't know what I'm talking about. My bad.
No.
They won?
Yeah, they came back and won. So I survived the Blue Note Roofing Survivor Pool.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So give them a call today.
Yeah, they'll pimp your roof out too, by the way.
Yes.
And take advantage of the hailstorms that happened in last May. Yeah. You got to get on that right away.
They do siding, fascia, soffit, gutters.
And I know what fascia is too, by the way.
Yeah,
I had my buddy come over that
yeah,
listens, and he showed me
He
exactly
you.
what everything
Sounds like
is.
corner kind of.
And I had dings on some of them too.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Well, he may need to come out and check it
no,
out.
100%.
Yeah.
Yep.
314-920-5713. 314-920-5713. You see it on the screen too when you're watching on YouTube. So all our sponsors, man. So,
Damn right.
So Blue Note Roofing, man. Again, we welcomed him to the team last week, and love having Blue Note Roofing and Dave Novak with us on board for sure. Bellman and Bellman.com. Cam at Bellman, you get no
swinging dicks. None of that shite.
What do you get?
You get great customer service. I'll tell you that right now, right in there in Troy, Missouri.
You do get sushi and flavored water.
And you get, they got all kinds of options for you. If you want that big old Denali, 25 hundo, you want to get that Buick, whatever you want, they will have it. So check them out. They're in Troy, Missouri, and they're good people, and they'll take care of you. No matter what your credit score is or whatever, they will take care of you. And it's winter is coming. So if you want to get that truck, man, check it out. They got all kinds of options. Bellman, Kenny, what's up? Dale, what's up? Danny, God damn it. Get back to work, boy.
But you will get sushi and flavored water there as well.
It's funny. People laugh at that, I think, Andy, when you say that.
Get a lot of messages about it.
They laugh at that. So, IRC too, by the way. Eric Conley, Chrissy Pondoff. Love both of you guys right there in Swansea, Illinois. Everybody knows somebody that has some sort of addiction, and they are going to take care of you, man. I swear to God. They don't bullshit around in there. You get work done at IRC, Illinois Recovery Center, right there at Swansea, Illinois. Yeah. Get it done. You got the holidays coming up. Winter's coming up, man. This is a dog days, especially for depression and things like that, man. It all coexists. Get on it, and get on it now. Go talk to my buddy Eric. Go talk to my buddy Chrissy Pondoff right there at IRC, Illinois Recovery Center in Swansea, Illinois. Message me if you have any questions. I'll take care of you. Mm-hmm. Hell yeah.
We talked about it earlier, too, with the Adderall and all that stuff.
Adderall, too. You'll be okay with that. Just trust me.
3 days.
3 days, you're fine.
2 to 3 days.
Seriously, you're right. 2 to 3 days.
Yeah.
It ain't painkillers. It's not booze.
No.
You'll suck that mug up. Trust me. I've been through it.
Get yourself preoccupied with something else for a day or two.
You suck it up. You're going to feel like shit, but it's not going to be that bad. Trust me.
IllinoisRecoveryCenter.com, baby. The IRC.
Oh, yeah.
Shilly plastering, man. I could use a swimming pool next summer, dude. This is the best time to get one because then you can build it all out all winter and fall and all that stuff. Yeah. And then by the time you get to the warm weather next spring and summer, your pool's ready to go.
Oh, God. You see that thing built up in your backyard. Yeah, it's going to be a pain in the ass off the bat. Mm-hmm. But then you see it all come together. You're like, oh, you and your girl like, oh, my God, we're going to have parties here. The kids are going to have a blast. We're going to fucking be tan as shit. We don't have to leave the house now. We don't have to worry about doing anything. This is our little vacation oasis in our backyard. We don't have to get on a plane. We don't have to get on a Greyhound bus. We don't have to do a damn thing. We go into our backyard and we have an oasis.
Mm. And they've got the Pebble Tech technology.
Yeah.
Which is a 5-year warranty on that, Cam.
Good.
They got everything.
There's a lot of things that go wrong with pools.
Hey, listen, and I see all these big dogs, and I go see their pools and everything, and I say, hey, who built your pool? And they all say
Shilly. All the hockey people, what's up, man? We're all connected around here. Mm-hmm. You're damn right.
If I have anything go wrong, I call.
Damn right.
Shilly.
You need a pool in your backyard. You got a perfect. I will come over to your house and hang out.
Yeah, well.
You got to get that first.
We'll see about that.
Andy, Cam, come over.
Shilly plastering.
You got that pool yet? No.
Shilly plastering. Yeah, all of a sudden you get a lot of friends when you get a pool.
There it is. Just like when you get a boat. Funny how that works.
When you get a golf membership.
Funny how that works.
When you when you own a bar, you get a lot of friends.
There it is. Funny how that works.
But they really like me.
They like me.
My bar's closed, and I haven't heard from them in quite
some time.
That
stripper liked me. No. It's different with us, okay? I've had some of my buddies, man.
Sparks hockey, baby. Get that Sparks
I got a story.
Sharpener. Yeah.
I got a message from some cat that dealt with Seth. So Seth is a guy, and if there's new people here because Sparks jumped back on, is a kid at the fucking hockey store that's sharpening your skates, and he's a goddamn weirdo.
He knows nothing about hockey.
Knows nothing about hockey, cross grinds, and all of a sudden your kid goes out there and toe picks and fucking breaks his AC joint because of dipshit boy Seth. Not to mention he's creeping out the women and the neighborhood, and he's got animal bones in his basement.
He's drinking Code Red.
He's drinking Code Red with Cheetos in his belly button all night long, creeping out girls on fucking line. Weirdo son bitch. Anyway.
And then he's going to the rink. He's going to the skate shop.
And sharpening your skates.
And he's late.
And he's looking at your credit card too. Listen, he sucks at everything. Dude. But somebody said, somebody messaged me. They go, dude, I had a Seth situation cam. I go, what? He goes, we're at this fucking, I don't know, maybe in Canada, whatever it was. And it was legitimate. He's like, Cam, the way you describe Seth, this was exactly him. I had my daughter with me. First, he's fucking up everything. Doesn't know what he's talking about. He's trying to make me buy all kinds of different things. Then he starts creeping out my daughter. I swear to God, he sent me this. I go, can I use? He's like, yeah, you can use my name. I forgot what it was. I should look it up right now. He goes, I had a real life Seth on my hands, including he creeped my damn daughter out while he fucked my son's skate up.
Yeah.
Really odd.
Yeah.
I'm like, there he is. I knew it.
They exist everywhere.
I knew it.
And there he is. And listen, there's some good people that work at some of these places too, including the guy that keeps trying to talk me out of everything I'm trying to buy.
How dumb is that?
He's telling me like what flex I need for my kid and what.
I know what flex.
It's like,
wait, where do you play?
Yeah, exactly. I know.
I know my kid
like
uses.
What?
You know.
And he's telling me like what, like his skates that he's been wearing. I want to get him like the next size up, and he's like he needs this skate because his foot's wider. It's like what?
Whatever, dude. I'd rather have that than
I know
stuff. You know what I mean? But if I own the place, I'm like, don't help sell things. You know, don't turn them down.
Right.
If I want to buy something.
Right. Yeah. Just let him get what he's comfortable.
Whatever.
Let him get what he's comfortable getting.
So check it out, Sparks. By the way, you won't have to deal with any of that stuff. Just put it in your basement.
SparksHockey.com. It's the best.
Your garage.
Best investment you'll ever make.
Dude, you press a button. It's 5 o'clock in the morning when your kid has 6:30 practice. You're like, oh shit, the skates are all fucked up. Yoink. Press a button.
Yeah.
Done.
I know. That's what it's all about. It saves you money, but it saves you time.
Yeah.
So if you're like, you're right. The night before practice, you're like, shit, I didn't get a skate sharp.
It's gonna be closed in the morning.
It's not a big deal. You just go down to the basement. 5 minutes later, your skates are ready to go out there and dominate.
So anyway.
So do that. All right, Jonathan Marchessault, man. We haven't even talked about him, but he's on this edition of the Cam and Strick podcast. Signed a big contract in the offseason.
Yeah.
Could not find a way to get it done with Vegas. And you can tell he wasn't very happy with how those negotiations went.
Yeah.
I understand sometimes if you're the organization and you're the team, man, hey, the best general managers make difficult decisions that may not be the most popular decisions at the time, but they got to think about the future of the organization too. This guy, maybe in a little bit of a different category, man. He meant so much to that organization. Conn Smythe winner. He's been there since the very, very beginning, and he just wanted a 4-year deal. Ends up signing a 5-year deal. I'm thinking he wanted 5 years from Vegas, and maybe but he wanted 4 years. They wouldn't go north of 3 years, he says in this interview. I really felt like maybe you could give this guy a 4-year deal. Like he's coming off a career season where he scored over 40 goals.
Your heart and soul.
He's your heart and soul. He does a shit ton of stuff in the community.
Does a shit ton in the playoffs.
And these are the type of players that are going to carry you into that next round, next generation of
I don't understand it.
Of Vegas players. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And these are the guys you want around to pass the torch.
Yeah. Yeah. They're your bread and butter, man.
Mm-hmm.
But he's moved on. And he talks about it, and now he's with
he's in a great spot.
He's a cool cat too, by the way.
Really cool.
Yeah, they got a cool team down in Nashville, dude. I'd like to go down there.
They're up there in my cool rankings.
I agree. We do the cool rank. Andy and I do the cool rankings, and they're. I have a feeling they're going to be up there big time with all those cats on that team.
It's gonna be hard for some Blues fans to hear that, but they're pretty
cool, man. It is what it is. Yeah. We're honest.
When you add Stamkos, Marchessault, and O'Reilly in a couple of years
to Yossi and all those,
and
are
Forsberg,
you kidding me? Get on with yourself.
That's pretty cool. And Barry Trotz and Andrew Burnett.
Love both those guys, man. Interesting. I'll be keeping an eye on those guys.
Yeah.
When the Blues go down there, maybe we should take the girls.
Okay.
And do our thing, Jane. I'll party.
Larry's got a lot of stuff to do right now. We got a lot of things
happening. No, I get you. I get that.
It's a busy, busy time, dude.
I know. I get that.
This is entering like just the absolute craziness where everything kind of collides at once. Work, kids' schedules, everything, man. It gets a little nutty.
I get that.
But we get through it every year, man, and we certainly will. Just like this will help you get through your day, man. You're going to love this conversation.
Love you guys.
Jonathan Marchessault. Oh, by the way, they were saying there was some like blurriness or something. This was like it was a perfect video.
Yeah.
it was coming in very, very clear. And like I think there were some technology issues.
Technical issues.
So bear with us on that.
Yeah.
The audio is perfectly fine for those of you who are listening to just the audio version.
Yeah.
But the video, there may be a little bit of blur. I haven't even checked it out and looked at it, but just kind of going by what Maddie's telling us. So,
we'll blame on Maddie.
No, it's not his fault. But these things do happen.
Yeah.
If
it's all good. We've been pretty good with it, okay?
Oh, yeah.
We've been okay.
So just bear with us on that, but you'll still enjoy the conversation, man. Unbelievable conversation with Jonathan Marchessault.
See, dudes.
Fueled by First Form, baby. The Cam and Strick podcast is brought to you by First Form, baby. Use our link and do it today. www.firstform.com/camandstrick.
Get jacked now. They are the real deal.
Get that protein, check out the apparel, eat those bars, and drink those energy drinks. Firstform.com/camandstrick.
Yeah.
Now on to the interview. Hey, who was the first coach that honestly, like, not your junior coach, and we'll get into him here later, but like, who's the first professional coach you had that truly believed in you, that said, listen, Johnny, you're going to make it, man. You have what it takes. And who's that guy that gave you that confidence?
Well, you know what? Like my first year, I showed up in Hartford and I was supposed to play in the, like, you know how it is, the New York organization, they sign like their 50 NHL contracts. So they have so many guys. Mm-hmm. So I was supposed to play in the East Coast, but that year there's Dale Weiss got picked up off waivers for Vancouver. Then after Chad Kolarik, which he was a good player for them at the time, got a knee surgery in year done in training camp or something like that. So there's two right wingers that weren't there anymore. So that's where I got my opportunity. And the coach that put me on the power play was JJ Daigneault. He was like the assistant coach. He was doing the power play and the defense in Hartford, and I thought he was really good to me. And Ken Jonander was the head coach there. But JJ was the guy who like really put me on the power play and that. And after, I would say, in Springfield, when I went there, the Columbus organization, it was like they fired the GM like a couple of weeks after they signed me. So I was just a number for them. So that I hated my time over there. But after, when Julien Brisebois came and get me from Springfield to Syracuse, and he told me straight up, hey, you're a good player. If you do the right things here, you'll get your shot. So I was like, all right, let's put into work. And like a year and a half later, I was in the NHL.
I like how you said he came and got you. Like you were like being held hostage.
Get me out of Springfield.
I was like in Springfield. Like my coach. I remember my coaches. They wanted me. You know who it is. Like they wanted me to play like Cody Bass. Mm-hmm. Like Basser played so tough. He had like a bad head, and he's like, I got to do less fighting. Gets on the ice, fights every game. Like I just, it's not my play, you know, it's not how I play, and I just feel like they didn't get me. So I didn't like it there. And like after a year, I was like, they were calling up all the other guys, and they were like, oh, you're going to be the first call up. And they were calling up everybody. So I was, and I played 2 games that year. So I was just disappointed. I wanted out of there. And finally I was lucky enough that Julien came and get me.
Well, at least Springfield is beautiful. It's a beautiful town, unlike Tampa.
Honestly, I've had some rough, like driving back to my house after games. You know, you always play 3 and 3-2. You're like, it's impossible that you play 3 good games in 3 days. It's impossible. You're at least messing up 1 or 2, you know? So it's like, I've had so many bad drives back. I'm like, I'm done with this shit. I'm like, all the, you know, you're so much in your head and during that time. But I mean, I'm happy I got out of it.
Hey, but when you got to Florida and like you scored 30 goals there, man, like were you thinking, okay, they're going to commit to me, I'm going to be here long term? And like when you're left unprotected, not knowing how it was going to play out for the rest of your career, it's the best thing that ever happened to you, probably going to Vegas and them claiming you and everything that's happened since then. But when you were left unprotected, were you like, here we go again, man, I just scored 30 and I can't even get this team to believe in me?
I was so disappointed, to be honest, because like I went from Tampa. I was in the organization for 2.5 years, unreal organization. And what I liked about it is they treat the AHL players really well. Like they treat them really well for the AHL. So after I go to Florida, So I'm like, I love it there. Like I'm living at my wife's dad's house. You know, it's just 25, 30 minutes away from the rink. It's unbelievable lifestyle there. I started doing well. I play like when Huberdeau went down, I started playing with Yager and Barkov, which
Never heard of either one of them. Never heard of either one of them.
Don't know who they are.
So like when you play with Barkov, honestly, you could shot a puck at him in the air, he would somehow manage to get it and keep skating with it. But he's an unbelievable player, and I started playing with them, started doing well, and after I was like a really good, like a big piece of their offense over there. So I'm like, well, you go down the list, and like we have Vegas coming in. I'm like, well, I'm definitely going to be in there, you know, like I think I've done good enough that they'll be there. And obviously they overthink it, and they protected 4D and 4 forwards. So I've become free. And after Florida was willing to give a second rounder to like keep me, and Vegas wanted a first rounder. So they finally did not protect me. So Vegas is like, yeah, we're going to grab Marchie here. And so I go there and I'm like, well, all right, here we go again. You think you did something good enough that you want to give stability to your family. I had 2 young kids at the time. Like I lived in Tampa. I was living in a hotel room. My daughter would sleep in a little tent on the floor when she was like 6 months, you know, it was really brutal. And so I wanted to give them stability. And we had like a year there in Florida, and we had another year supposedly, but now we had to move everything. So now we get to Vegas. I'm like, well, at least I'll be able to be like a stable top 6 player there. Like I'll be able to like, you know, I put in good numbers that I'll be on the top 6, and good enough that I show up there, and it's Gerard Gallant that had me in Florida that put me with Barkov and Yager. So I was pretty lucky that he knew me and he put me on a good situation right away. And right off the bat, it was honestly really good.
Yeah. So then, when you play Florida, though, from that point going forward, like, and beating them in the Stanley Cup final, that probably had to feel pretty good to beat Florida, right? Did you carry a chip on your shoulder, or did you move past that once you realized you were in a good spot in Vegas?
In the first few years, I had the chip on my shoulder, but like when we played Florida, it was my 6th year since I played there, and it was just Barkov and Ekblad left. Yeah, so I kind of knew no one really but the trainers were the same and all that, and they were great staff and everything. But I didn't have like that usual chip on your shoulder that I probably will have when I go back to Vegas or something like that, right?
So Gerard Gallant, real quick, man, because he got kicked to the. We had him on here, man.
Yeah, great guy.
But he got kicked to the curb in Florida and Vegas.
Yeah.
Which one was the more raw deal for him? Was it like the taxi cab situation, which he cleared up for us? It wasn't as bad as people made it out to be. But man, I'm curious what you guys were thinking as players when all of a sudden he's like hailing a cab, or like was it worse when he got fired by Vegas? Because I think both times it caught the hockey world a little bit off guard.
Both are kind of similar. They just don't make sense.
Yeah.
Like I remember in Florida, we were like in 8 spots after a month and a half of playing in the season. And he just lost like arguably one of his best players for 6 months, Huberdeau. So like, how is this like fair? You know, like it just didn't make any sense. And after Tom Rowe comes in, which is a completely different style of coaching, so that was unfair. But the one in Vegas too, we had a meeting that one day, and we're like sitting down, and the GMs are there, and out of nowhere they're like, "Well, yeah, Gerard is not going to be your coach anymore." And we're like, "What? What happened? Like something must have happened. I don't know what it was." We were pretty like upset because Gerard's the kind of coach that he's not like an X and O kind of guy, really. You know, there was more his assistant coach was doing that for him, Mike Kelly. But he's the kind of guy that you want to just go through a wall for him, right? He's just such a good guy. He's an honest guy, and he tells you straight up what's going on. And, you know, I respected him so much. Like the first year, everything was flowing, like my line and Carly and Riley Smith. And the second year we come up and we were pretty much dog shit, and talked to us like after a few weeks, and he's like, well, like, what the fuck's going on with you guys right now? You know, like, you guys are terrible. Like, wake up. Like, because like, obviously Carly was like just put up like 50 goals at 1 year, and he shows up the next year and he does 20. There's a good gap. So he was like, come on, you got to help out Carly a little bit more. You know, like, you got to help him to get his goals back and all that, his scoring touch. And he was like pretty straightforward and honest about it. And he was dead on. Oh, he was really, really good. So those two situation, I don't know how it happened in New York as well. I mean, but in New York, I think at the time they had too many chefs in the kitchen, right? They went to get so many guys at the trade deadline. And I just normally, I don't know. I would not build my team like this personally, but I don't know what happened over there. But those two ones in Florida and Vegas were just uncalled for.
Hey, before we get into more Vegas stuff, you said you played on a line with Yogs, and I just like, how was he with you? I mean, if you don't give him the puck, especially at that age when he's a little more cranky, you know, like he's maybe he'll like call attention in the locker room and call some guys out like he used to do with Dana Zubris. How was he? Love the guy, but how was he with you guys?
Yeah, I mean, he dedicated his life to hockey, right? So he's like, that's his passion. Like, he would look at me and Barkov and he would be like, you guys have to forecheck and backcheck for me. I can do that. Like, you have to do it all. And when you recover the puck, find me. I can protect it still. Like, I'm big. I can still protect it. But he was telling us stuff like that. Where one time Yogs told me, he's like, you got to stop shooting the puck. that's the one thing. It caught me off guard because I was like, well, I'm supposed to be shooting the puck. That's what I'm supposed to do. You know, like, everybody, my coach is telling me you got to shoot the puck. Like, every time you have a shooting situation, you got to shoot it. And after Yogs comes to me, like, one of the best Hall of Famers ever, tells you got to stop shooting the puck. So I was really, at that time, I was in my head. I didn't know what to do. And like, it doesn't matter if you play with Yager or you play with somebody else. I think as a hockey player, you got to play your game. You know what's your strength and all that kind of stuff. So it came down to like, well, I made it here not because of any coaches or any players that I played with. I made it here because I listened to my hockey instinct, and I'm going to keep doing that. So obviously I kept shooting a little bit, but I try to pass a little bit more often to him.
Stop shooting. How dare you? Stop skating, too.
He told Mario the same thing back in the day.
Similar players, huh?
Hey, Patrick Waugh, though, man, you played for him for 3 years in junior. Like, 4 years. Okay.
Yeah.
Damn, man. 4 years of junior.
Yeah.
And what did he do to set yourself up for, to move on to playing the pro game? Yeah, I'm curious if Lou tried to sign you this past summer. Like, was he trying to get Lou Lamoriello to sign you to come to New York to be reunited with him, with Patrick Waugh? Like, did you get along with him? Did you like playing for him?
Well, you know what? When I had him for 4 years in junior, I hated him. Like, for the 4 years I was there, I thought he was so hard on me. He was like, he was pretty much a dick with me. Like, he was like I tell that story often. Like, we would win the night before 3-2 or something. He had 2 goals, 1 assist, and we won. And after he comes in, we had a team meeting, and he comes in and he's like, "You're happy about your game yesterday?" I was like, "Well, pretty good, you know." I thought I did well. And he comes in and he's like, "You were the worst player on the ice," and all. He started ripping on me in front of everybody. He did the same thing in junior. In my 4th year, he said, like, I was a good player and I for sure was going to make the team. And he was saying that I was on the trade block and all that. Another time he would come in, we all grabbed Tim Hortons to come for to eat for breakfast, and we would eat in the locker room before we go for workout. And he would come in and is like, "Keep eating muffins. You're fat. You're slow. You can't even move out there." Like, shit like that. He was nuts towards me, to be honest. But what I realized the most from him, that I learned the most from him, and is how passionate you can be towards hockey. Like, he has passion through the roof. Like, I've never seen anything like it. Like, he like, even when his sons are some of my best friends, and even when we had dinner, the only thing we would talk was only hockey the whole time. We wouldn't talk about anything else. So his passion towards hockey is unbelievable. And the mental toughness of the game. I think like he was like that too. I think he had like no one would get in his head, and I think that's one thing that he helped me the most was my mental toughness. Like no one gets in my head, only me. So that's one thing that he really taught me, and yeah, without like he showed me what's a tough coach, what is a coach that he just prepared me for the like nothing could phase me after him. After him, like nothing phased me really, and that's one thing that and now like look at me and him now, like we play against each other, we'll talk to each other after the games, and like I always see him in the summer on the golf course and all of that. He's an unreal person to see and to talk about, and to talk about hockey, and he's definitely entertaining to see in the summer.
So you think that's a good strategy though, like moving forward? Like, because that is like belittling, and I get the he's compassionate, and he's not
he's passionate.
He's passionate. He's not compassionate.
Yeah.
But like, do you think that's a good strategy? Do you think that's what he's doing in New York to all these old veterans on there too, or even a Barzell?
I don't think he's like that anymore. Like I've went like even after my 4 years, I was going back and practice with the team and stuff, and he was so soft with all the kids there, and I was like, why weren't you like that when I was there? Because I saw guys also that quit hockey because they couldn't handle that kind of pressure, right? They were just not built for that type of thing. So I wouldn't say it's like that for everybody. Some kids are more willing to endure it, but I think everybody's different. I honestly think as a coach, you cannot handle certain guys the same way that you handle your top players or stuff like that. Some guys are more mentally weak and they have no confidence and stuff. And I think that's something that as a coach, you got to figure out how they can be, like my coach in Vegas, Bruce, like at first me and him were like, we would motherfuck each other like a couple times in the year, like yelling, like fuck you and all that kind of stuff. Like you're not right. But he would tell me that I can endure it. That's why he would go at it. And he would also use it to fuel the team. Like the team said that when he did stuff like that, the team responded well. So that's something that I never realized that coaches could even do stuff like that. And that's why, like, you know what, like Butch, like you'll always have my respect because I won with the guy. So I believe the way you run things, you run it the right way because we won. Like, what do you want to say after a season? Like we had our meetings with our GMs after a season, we won. Like, what do you want to say? We won. Like, you can't say anything. We've done it all. Like, you can't. There's no getting better or something. We've done it. We just have to get out there and redo it the next year, and we didn't. But I mean, at the end of the day, that's why I'll always respect my coach in Vegas.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that because we had him on too, Bruce Cassidy. But like I know some of those guys in Boston, man, they did not like him, and like I think he was caught off guard that he got let go. But like you saw Bergeron basically say he was going to retire, then he came back. David Krejci came back. But it changes things though, man. When you win a championship, you're going to have that connection together forever. And at the end of the day, that's what it's all about, man. You're trying to build your way to winning the cup. So I like your perspective on that in terms of how you view him.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I heard that too, and there's guys on our team that didn't like him too. Like, but he says it openly. I couldn't care less if you like me or not. Like I'm the coach, and that's how I'm gonna run things, and I kind of respect that because when you're the head coach or the GM, well, you're in position that you can run the way you want to run it, right? So I kind of respect it a lot, to be honest. And if I was in this position and I would be a head coach, I would run the things I want to run my way, So I think I respect that way as well.
Yeah, for sure, man. Hey, I'm just curious. Help us understand, like, the culture of Vegas. Like there's been so many guys. We've had Bill Foley on, man, in addition to Kelly McCrimmon.
Big Bill.
But the perception out there is, hey, they want everybody, right? Petro's available, we're going to get him. Jack Eichel's available, we're going to get him. So as a player there, you probably love it. But on the flip side, there's this idea maybe that there's not a whole lot of loyalty to the guys who have been there. So you've seen some close friends of yours probably leave the organization so they could bring some of these guys in. How do the players react to that? And how did you handle that, while you were there?
Well, I was there since I've seen it all, right? I've seen
all,
like
exactly.
the superstars coming in, like every year they always have. I think organization, they have to have a little bit of a mentality that you need to always get better, right? You got to do everything you can to be the best team out there. But at the same time, there's only a few guys in the organization that you got to treat well. You got to know which one you want to treat really well. And I think that's something that is lacking in Vegas. Like have like a little bit of loyalty, like they when the Fleury thing happened at the time, which was, and Leonard was there too, which it sucked because like everybody loved Flower in the locker room and everything, but they had to take a choice. Who was the guy who was going to bring us to like the next level, right? They had to choose, and at the time, Robin was putting in amazing numbers. His numbers. We're not talking about locker room guys or anything, but his numbers on the ice were great. So like it was a hard decision to do, and obviously for their locker room, there's that perspective. They got to put in a little bit more thought in their locker room. So that was a tough decision, and that kind of sucked to see Flower go that way after doing so well. And look at him go still; he's unbelievable. Like he still have a great Hall of Famer career. And in the long run, it didn't pay off. So like it's hard to say that they were right, and I don't know. It's there's definitely no loyalty, but at the same time, it's like, well, you're there to win, right? I don't mind that mindset personally. Like, obviously, I'm disappointed that I left. I think I didn't have any real things to consider, and that's what disappoint me, right? I thought I've done good enough in the past 7 years for them that I could deserve what I deserve. I was not asking something outrageous. I was not trying to steal a bank or anything like it. And but it's life, and you move on. And they're gonna still have a really good team, and I think they did the right things. And only the future is gonna tell us if they were right or not.
Well, you guys are going to be singing country songs in front of a bunch of people at Tootsie's here soon, so you got it pretty good with Stammer, by the way.
Exactly.
Yeah, man. You got a fun team, dude. Fuck that. I'm excited about watching you guys play. You got a fun team down there.
Yeah, honestly, we have good players, and like they've done a lot of good things, and that's what I like about it. It's like, when I was trying to pick where I was going to go play to, I don't want to be done in April 15, right? I'm 33 years old. I still want to play to win again a Stanley Cup. That's my main goal here. So in Nashville, like I look at their lineup last year, I was like, how did they even make it to the playoffs? Like I was like, this is shocking to me. And just the way they played, they were the worst to play against. Them in Florida were so hard to play against last year, and they were hard teams. And you know what? I was like, well, maybe I want to join this team. Like they were going somewhere, and they're willing to spend to the cap. And like, believe it or not, you need to spend to the cap to be a good NHL team now. So, yeah, I really wanted to come here, and it was a really, really good spot for me. And I mean, I like it here. I love it so far. All the kids are in the school. We got our house and everything getting settled down, and no, I can't wait to actually start. And I think we're gonna have a good team this year.
Yeah, really good team, man.
Yeah.
I mean, you got Yossi obviously and Forsberg, O'Reilly, and then now you got Stamkos and yourself in addition to add to that core. But give us the backstory, man. Like, were you and Stamkos talking prior to signing there? Like, did you know he was going to sign? Did he know you were going to sign? Were you guys talking? Like, give us an idea of how that played out and how you landed with the Predators.
Well, so what happened is in Vegas, I called the GM on Friday. I called the president on Saturday. I'm like, what's going on? What do you guys want to do? I kind of need to know if you guys are actually letting me go for real. And when Sunday shows up, he's like, nothing was budging. So I was like, well, I guess I'm getting into free agency. And after we went on Monday morning, and I was talking to my agent, Pat, and he was like, yeah, so Nashville is definitely a good spot and all that. So I was like, yeah, Nashville is my number one. That's what I would like to go. Like I gave him like my top 5 list, and Nashville was there. So either way, we kind of go on, and I'm like, well, they're still signing Stammer, I think, as well. I'm like, really? I'm like, so we're like going back and forth. I'm like, well, I played with Stammer in Tampa. I'm just gonna call him. So I called him, and I'm like, yeah. I told him he didn't want to like tell me right away, but he was in the same position as me. We like committed to sign there, and I was like, well, I'm signing there. He's like, well, okay, me too. Like, well, perfect. So we were pretty pumped that we got me and him were joining their really good squad already, and we were able to maybe help them to get a cup here, you know. So I think that's the main goal, and we're definitely excited to start.
Yeah, you got a couple Conn Smythe winners there, man.
Oh,
You know, with you and O'Reilly, and
yeah.
the more guys you have that have won before, obviously, the better. So like, do you call Kelly McCrimmon and George McPhee yourself, or is like your agent calling them over the weekend? And
Well,
like, you have such a history there, man. Like, how
yeah,
long does it take you to get over the fact that it didn't work out and they didn't commit to the point where you were hoping that they would?
yeah. I mean, they didn't want to go anything long term. They were always in the ballpark of like 3 years. I wanted 4. So that's the first thing that we were so far. You know, we wouldn't. But at first, it was always the agent was calling them. And after Friday, I said, well, fuck, I've seen those guys for so long. Like I've talked to them so much. Like I'm just gonna call them.
Yeah.
So I called Kelly Friday. I told him like what's going on, you know, like you know how big of a factor I'm in your not just on the ice, but in your locker room. I'm one of those 5 guys that makes the locker room, you know, like that makes it enjoyable with the trainers and all that. We had an unbelievable chemistry and atmosphere over there. It was so much fun. So I'm like, what's going on? And he's like, well, we just can't go to terms with you guys. I'm like, okay, well, Friday. I'm like, well, I guess all good things come to an end, you know? So either way, I called the next day. I called George. I'm like, George, are you guys like really going through with this? Like nothing's happening. And he's like, well, I'm gonna call Kelly. He wasn't in town and he didn't know what it was necessarily. It was more Kelly that was taking care of that um, that contract. So either way, they called each other, and after the next day, they were like, "Well, we just can't." So I was like, "Well, all good things come to an end, and that's it." So there is no like actual. There was some offers, but nothing to consider really, and yeah, so it pretty much ended. All good things come to an end, and we hanged up, and still at that day, never talked to each other.
You have to sell that house that you
Yeah.
renovated, or do you
Yeah.
get to keep that and you're renting it to somebody?
No, I actually am selling it I sold it this week. We're actually in the papers right now to paperwork to do it, and by the end of the month it'll be done.
Get it done, baby. Clear
Yeah.
your head.
You
Yeah,
ever
I
go
know.
over to
It's
Clear your head.
You ever go over to Petro's house, the house he had with like 14-car garage? You ever
Mhm.
go hang out in the garage over there?
well, honestly, Petro's been there for what 5 years or 4 years, and he has probably had 5 houses.
I know. I heard.
It's unbelievable. This guy's a real estate mogul. Like he's always somewhere else. He's always he's so he cracks me up. He texted me like 2 weeks ago. Hey, I hope everything's good in Nashville and stuff. Your house still on the market? Why you want it? He's like, no, I'm just always listening, you know. So he was asking how is it going?
Hey, let me ask you this. You ever see like in training camp, because you've been there since, day one, to where some of these kids that like to go out, maybe some of the young kids that are invited to training camp, stuff like that, that you saw the next day, you're like, you couldn't help yourself, could you? Because it's so appealing to get caught up with stuff there, or was everybody pretty disciplined? I'm just curious.
No, no, honestly, you know how it is. Like now, like the young kids when they come in, there's no like everybody's so by the book. Like they don't let go that much I mean, especially in training camp. But no, I've not seen it.
Wow, good. It's good. That's good. It's
good
different.
Them,
I mean, shit, we're doing that in like Birmingham, Binghamton, North New York. So I was just curious about that.
The visiting teams have fun though, I think.
Yeah,
we
know that.
When they
we
come
know that we always have a pretty steady, good home record.
Yeah. What about UFC? You guys get caught up in that at all? You going to big events out there?
Yeah. I went to a couple of them. I went to John Jones. I went to you remember that guy like Mesvedez? Like when he need a guy, I need a guy on the temple. Like it took 3 seconds. It was outrageous. Yeah.
Really?
That was crazy.
You were there. That was awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, I was there. We went to a couple of backs. I saw Canelo too at boxing. It was like, there's always sick events to go at. It's unbelievable. Like Vegas is Vegas. It's still super, super cool to go at all the shows and all that. There's always something to do.
Yeah, UFC's on a different level though. Big time.
Hey, listen, man, and it sucks. It kind of ended the way that it did, but you have so many great things that happened to you in Vegas, and like to see that whole franchise kind of evolve, and you and guys like William Karlsson and some of the other guys that have been there, and just take your careers to the next level. I mean, what was your thought process while you're there? Like all of a sudden you're turning into like a bona fide like NHL star. Did you always know you could be that guy? Like why was Vegas such a good fit for some of you guys?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, we got there, and the organization, it starts with the owner, right? Like the owner gives you all the tools and the people to help you be good and all that, but they take care of you off the ice so well. They treat you like you're a king. They treat you so well over there, and that's one thing. And when we came in as a new franchise, we all came in from different teams, and we were all in the same situation that our old teams did not want us enough, so we were all in the same boat. And ever since, we kind of that first year, I think we just moved the franchise forward of 3 years, right? Of being good and everything. And they just it's just one of those things. They just treat you so well. The organization is awesome. The trainers, they're unbelievable. It's like you always look at Canadian cities like you're a hero when you do well, but god damn, do they hate you when you start having a slump of 5, 6, 7, 8 games. You always hear it everywhere. In Vegas, you have a slump of 5, 6 games. They're all the fans, they come up to you in restaurants and stuff like that. Man, you've saved the city. You guys are so cool. You're so awesome. Thank you for everything you've done and all that. It just makes you feel so good. The community there, it's unbelievable. And yeah, I've had honestly, I have nothing bad to say against Vegas for the past 7 years. It's been unbelievable, and what a run. And honestly, it's been a real treat. And you know what? We brought a cup in the city after 6 years. So there's always that, and we'll always have that towards each other and the group of guys in the organization. So
shut the strip down too, man. Damn right.
I think that was the best. Obviously, the day that you win, the thing on the ice and everything in the locker room after with all the boys and the families and all that, it was unbelievable. But the parade on the strip, I mean, that was elite stuff. That was cool.
William Karlsson. Could you understand a word he was saying?
Yeah.
I mean, you would know the guy. He's so quiet and so humble, and but when he drinks, he's Wild Bill. He's somebody else. And he got there, and he's it was just him at his finest. It's we knew he was like that, but that's funny that everybody got to know him like that. Is pretty cool.
You were having fun too, man. That's what I love watching teams win now. Yeah. I think Washington kind of started it.
They did their thing.
And then St. Louis followed it up. Everyone was kind of but you guys did a great job with it too. I think some teams are going to try to be like you guys in Washington and St. Louis and some of these other teams that have kind of been out in front of just being genuine and just truly just letting it loose. And now everyone feels like they got to match that.
Florida did it.
But yeah, Florida did it too, man. For sure. You guys were great, man. It was fun watching you guys do that. And during the playoffs, though, you were struggling a little bit in the first couple rounds. And then you just exploded, dude. You scored that hat trick. Were you getting frustrated? Are you the type of guy when the puck's not going in, you get down on yourself, or do you always maintain that confidence that it's going to turn around for you?
Yeah, I mean, as an offensive guy, you go through slumps every year. Like it will happen. It's how quick you can get out of it. And you know what? Like against Winnipeg, I had 2 assists in 5 games, and they weren't pretty. But it was just one of those things. Like we didn't need to. Like Stevenson, Stone stepped up. Jack was great still. You know, like those guys and just stepped up at the right time there. And like Michael Amadio got the overtime goal on game 4, I think. You know, like guys just stepped up at the right time, and that's how you build a winning run. You know, like some guys were better in certain rounds, and some of the guys were better, and I just stepped up my game against the Oilers. Even give the first 2 games, I didn't do anything, and I just started scoring game 3, 4, 5, 6, and kept going against Dallas and Florida. And it just, when you know how it is. When you're hot, you're hot.
No, we don't know how it is. Just so you know,
I want to be like, yeah,
are you kidding me?
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Well, hey, like when you look at other guys, like when you hit a span, like guys have like, I don't know, 10 goals in 10 games or something, but you hit another span, you have like 0 goals in 8 games. You know, it's just one of those things that just switches, and you just have to stay with the process and work a little harder and smarter when it doesn't go your way. And when you're hot, you got to serve the wave as long as possible. But I wasn't getting down because we were winning some games. But if I didn't do anything and we lost, yeah, I'm for sure always upset with myself.
Hey, speaking of hot, you were hot after that game 7 when Pavelski hit his head, cross check off the bat. I mean, is it a 2-minute cross check? Maybe, fine. They get a 5-minute major. They score 4 unanswered.
Yeah.
And you were livid afterwards. Have you calmed down from that, or do you still feel like, good God, they fucked up?
Well, yeah, you move on. It's like me not signing back in Vegas. You move on. Yeah. Like you have to move on, right? But I mean, at the end of the day, we brought that game to overtime and we lost in overtime. But at the end of the day, that penalty should have never happened. But back in the days, there was no review. You had to just trust the referee's judgment. And I don't think like they'll do mistakes. They're not perfect, you know? So that's why I just think that they needed help to be able to review those situations that are such a major factor in a game. And yeah, did our PKs completely crumble? Letting 4 goals in 5 minutes, it's unheard of. But I mean, we did. You know, we did, and we lose. And it's not like San Jose was a dog shit team. They had an unreal team too.
Yeah,
you know, so I mean, they deserve to go forward, and that's how it went that year.
I know. I remember watching. Hey, but it changed the rule, though, right?
Yeah.
I mean, in the NHL,
they did after that. After that, after that, no one thanked me for that, but I guess
we are.
Hey, thank you, Johnny.
Thank you, Johnny. Audie,
Marshy baby, Audie. Hey, what happened? You changed your last name. You said when your son was born, or what?
Yeah. What's up?
Or daughter?
When I got my kids, I didn't want them to have 2 last names. You know, I wanted them to have one, like the traditional way, kind of. And Marchessault, I had the last name and only that name in junior, so I just feel like I had more people would recognize me more with that last name, so we went that way.
Hey, why number 81?
Well, it started because I was 18 in junior, and I was a 16-year-old kid, so I showed up, and it was probably pretty much one of the only good numbers left. So I got 18. I was 18 the whole way. Then after, when I get in Tampa, they gave me 42, and I was there all after, like for the season so far, and I'm like, why am I still staying with 42? What a shit number. And ended up like, yeah, you can change number whenever you want. So the next day I show up, 81's there because 18 was taken from Palat, Andre Palat. Yeah. So I was 81 there. And after I went to Florida, 81 because Riley Smith was 18 there. So I just kept 81 the whole way.
I love it. I love it. My kid wears 81. That's why I was curious. He told me I had to ask you that. So I wanted to ask you. But hey, listen, there's a hilarious clip though, man, of you and Pierre Maguire, like when he was between the benches and they had a graphic up and it had how many goals you had in your playoff season that year with Vegas. And then it showed how many goals in your career you had playoff goals with Tampa Bay, and they're like, and they're pumping your tires, and they're like, hey, look how, but look what he didn't score in Tampa. And he reaches over and he's like, how come you're not showing my time, my minutes on ice, my time on ice?
I was
you're like,
pretty
I only
much just
played
doing
6
the
minutes.
warm-up over there.
Yeah, I played 6 minutes in Tampa.
There's always a little, sometimes the stats that came up and they come up with, you're like, well, you got to show everything here. Different.
Yeah, but they won't. Hey,
but they won't.
I do. We're looking you up, man. I'm just watching all the highlights and stuff. You got some great goals. I mean, all kinds of different things. But Tom Wilson got you. I think it was, God, dude, you just dump it in and you're not looking. And he came across one of those where, hey, I get it, man.
Blindside. I couldn't see him,
Where that fuck you up?
Destroyed me. Still the hardest hit I ever had in my life. Like, especially when you don't expect it. Those are the one that really hurts when you don't see him coming. But like he got me. I didn't see him coming, and I was looking at. I remember. I think I was like this, and I went like this, and I dumped it in or something, and he came from this side, right from the back checking, and he just caught me. And I've never. I had a concussion for sure, but I mean, you're in the Stanley Cup playoff, so I'm at final, so I just kept going, I guess, and my whole right side was shut, like my trap, shoulder, like lat, everything, my back, everything was shut. Like I couldn't feel anything on my right side, and the lights become so bright and everything. You had all the symptoms of having a concussion, but I had to keep. I never had one, so I didn't know what was going on, so I just had to push through.
So does that when that happens to you? And he's a big guy, and we like him too. He came on the podcast before. But you're like, I want to get him back. Is that always in the back of your head with anybody? No. Well, you could with a hit somehow.
What am I gonna do? Like I'm gonna
probably
score
4 goals. I don't know.
Cam thinks you should go fight him in center
catch
ice.
him with his head down. I don't know.
You're
score
like,
on him.
You can do stuff like that. I wish I can, but I can't. Like you can just go grab the guy, and your guy's bigger and so tough, but you could handle it. I can't do that. I can't do anything against Tom Wilson, but I can. I always tell the guys, the bigger guys that come at me, like, well, okay, you come at me, it's fine, but like you got to know, I'm gonna go probably after one of your little bitches too, and that's the kind of that's how I can manage to like even up.
Did you think that way then? Whenever you play against him, like, oh, maybe I might grab somebody out here or catch somebody with a big hit.
Yeah. Normally I start my game pretty peaceful, like I don't want any bullshit. I just try to help my team win a hockey game. But if you wake me up, I'll do probably something stupid at some point.
Hey, how was Reaver though? Like was Reaver, who stole Cam's job?
Oh God!
But how was Reaver? Was he the guy who said, hey, you do whatever you want, like I'm going to protect you, or was he not really like that? Like how would he? What was it like playing with him, man?
He didn't have to say it. He just knew.
Yeah.
He just knew, like when you're an enforcer, I think you know how it is. Like if you have one of the guys that runs around and all that kind of stuff, well, he'll take charge, like he'll do what he has to do, That's why it's probably the toughest job in the NHL, because not everybody's willing to do it, right? So I think it's one of those. I really respect the tough guys out there, because it's a tough job to like be ready to scrap every night, and like if something goes down, well, they're ready to go for you and step up for you. So I think that's probably one of why I really like the tough guys. Like there's not a lot anymore, but I think it's good for the game to have a guy like that, because it keeps everybody honest.
Yeah, that makes sense. Hey, let me ask you this, and I mean it. Like Robin Leonard, like I mean, was he bringing snakes to the rink and all that? Like, was he? Did you like? And could you have won the Stanley Cup with him as a goal? I know he had a great year, but based on where he was at, like, could he have taken you guys all the way? And it's interesting because Adin Hill ended up being the guy to do it. You had Logan Thompson, and so Robin Leonard, like, could you have won the Stanley Cup with him between the pipes?
I think the year in the bubble that we lost against Dallas, and after the next year we lost against Montreal, in semifinals both years. Those years, I think those two teams, we were better than them. I think we had more scoring chances because we just couldn't score goals. And at the end of the day, they were better than us because they won the series. But I do think that he was a really good goaltender in those years. And I think the 1 year against Montreal, I just did not like the back and forth between the goalies. You know, I think when you hit the playoffs, you got to ride the one that is doing well. And we took out Robin. I remember he won us game 5. We won like 1-0. It was unbelievable. Then we came back game 6 with Flower. Then we lost that game. Then we come back game 7 in Montreal and we put Robin in and we lost 2-1 in overtime or 3-2 or something like that. And he was great. I think you just got to ride the goalie that's hot at the time. And I think that hurt us that year. But yeah, I think that we could have went over the hump, and both years was Tampa's years that they won, right? And I just know that we would match better against teams like Tampa that are like kind of offensive like us than playing a super defensive style team against Dallas and Montreal at the time. And that's where we didn't match well.
Hey, how was he in the locker room? And like, can you go up to Robin? Because we've had him on the pod and he's very interesting. Was he an easy guy to be like, hey, let's go grab a beer? Did he keep to himself? Was he loud in the locker room?
Yeah, he was great. He was normal, but obviously like he's strong will, right? So he likes to talk and put his point of view on everything. And I thought he was great for the team. I think he was fun to be around and everything. And obviously we couldn't go grab a beer with him because he was sober at the time, right?
That's right.
Which I don't know if he is or not still. I've not talked to him in a few years, but hope he's well. But no, he was great. You know, he was great. Nothing bad to say against him. And he's a little different, right? He's like a freak athlete. Like he's so strong already. He would do those testing and would never went in the gym and do nothing. He just practice. That's it. Practice and play games. Like he's pretty remarkable in the NHL that we are in, that somebody can do that.
Hey, how's Eichel as a teammate? Like, and what did he mean to your team, man? Because like you guys were winning a lot, but like maybe without the, elite superstar, who had that reputation throughout the course of their career. He's a former, high draft pick and all that type of stuff. So when he got there, did he fit in right away? Did you even know if he could still play at that level because he was dealing with a neck injury? But what did he mean to your group when he got it going offensively?
Well, Ike's is probably one of the best teammates I ever had. Like he is all time. Like you think of all great teammates you've had, he's up there for sure. When he came in, yeah, I mean he's a super easy guy to talk to. He's like he came in and he was just part of the guys right away. He likes to mess around. Like me and him get along so much off the ice because we're kind of similar towards that. Like we like to have fun at the locker room, mess around, like go out for beers, for restaurant. He's always willing to do anything, kind of like me. So we hanged out a lot together. But I mean, on the ice, yeah, he was going through his neck thing, but he was doing things right. Like it's just Buffalo was not helping him properly and not listening to what he had to say, I think. And that's one thing that's why it didn't end well over there. But I mean, he was doing everything right and he did everything perfect. And look at him, he comes back and obviously he has the pressure of doing well when he came back, right? And we missed the playoff that year, but the next year he came in, he was unbelievable. Like what a player he is. And you know what I respect a lot of Ike's is he was always like a high point forward. He always does like a lot of points, but his defensive play is no one talks about that. Like he is in the best two-way center in the league for sure. Like you see at the top, I saw a list of the top 10 centers and he's out there, but I definitely put him in the top 5 of best two-way forward because he's super good. And he protects the puck better than I ever seen anyone do it, and he like sees everything on the ice, and he's an unbelievable hockey player.
Yeah, I love watching him play, man.
Yeah,
cool.
He brought us like he's a stud. Like he brought us over the hump of like winning, right? Like we were always winning, but we couldn't get over the semifinals and get to the finals. So he brought us there, and he took charge, and he really led our offense to the next level.
Hey, a few more things, man. You've been great, dude,
awesome,
and
buddy.
we appreciate it.
Yeah.
You know what I laugh at is when you win the Conn Smythe and they're like, "Oh, he's the first undrafted player since Gretzky to do it." It's like, come on,
that's
now.
bullshit, right?
I know.
That's
Hey, don't put Gretzky. That's not the same situation. Like Gretzky played in a different, like, professional league and whatever. He would have been the first overall pick if they had like a traditional NHL draft back then. You know.
Yeah. I mean, either way, it kind of sounds cool when they say it, right?
Oh, it does.
I mean,
yeah.
but at the end of the day, Gretz he's the great one. I'm not even in the same ballpark as him, but I mean, it's kind of cool that I've done something pretty remarkable. I've never been drafted, and I win that trophy, which is something that I'll be proud for the rest of my life.
You get like a replica of that? Do you get to keep the actual trophy? Like, how does that?
No.
What's on your mantle right now in that beautiful house in Tennessee?
Lovely house. I can see the backdrop too.
Look how blue that sky is.
Yeah, it's nice here. It's really nice. I'm lucky to be in good weather places. No, but I mean, when I won the Conn Smythe, I kept it at the house for like a couple of weeks, and after I went back home and I wanted to get it early, but after they were like, "Well, we'll just bring it on your Cup day." So I got it on my Cup day there, and after when I came back to Vegas, it was already in Vegas. So those days they were at my house. You know, the real one was at my house and just chilling there. And after they got to take it when the season starts, and you do get a replica, kind of like the Stanley Cup, and it's right next to the Stanley Cup replica, and yeah, I see them every day.
Man.
Hey, did Florida ever tell you they fucked up? Did they ever say to you, "Hey, we should not have"?
Well, it was like there was literally no one left there.
Oh,
like
that's true.
After that year, they just clean house, right? They just clean house, and no one ever told me. But I mean, no one have to tell me. Like it's pretty obvious at the time.
Hey, listen. Like, what kind of upbringing did you have? Like, did you not? Like, you were a stud, dude. You played in the Pee Wee Quebec tournament back-to-back years, reading something. Like, you had to have been a really good player. Like, why do you think you were overlooked outside of the size factor?
I was always a good player, but I was never I was never the best on my team.
Okay.
Like I've been cut from teams multiple times. Like I don't know how to say it. I was a good player. Like let's say in junior, I was a good player, but I was not supposed to be the best player on my team. And I only was one of the best player on my team. Only had my 20-year-old, like my overage year. But I mean, when I was young, my best friend was Alex Chiasson that played a lot of games in NHL, and he got surgery this year, and he's coming back this year. He's going to Detroit's camp. But I mean, he was a stud. Like growing up, he was like tall, a big guy, and kind of the typical like dominant player from Quebec City. And but I was maybe like he was the best of my team, and I was playing with him. I was maybe like 3 or 4 on the team, like in the forwards. I know where I situate myself on teams, and I was never the best, but I always managed to become better. Like every year that I started, I always ended up being better than what people expected.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I get you.
Well, you're in a great spot
You
now.
are.
You got a great group of a nucleus of like proven veteran guys who are cool.
Yeah.
Andrew Brunette, Barry Trotz, man.
Yeah.
You guys have it going on down there in Nashville. Stay away from that strip too.
Yeah. Be careful with that long hair of yours. They're going to recruit
They're
you.
think you're a country music star.
Yeah, a French country music star. Now go far away.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's awesome, man. Hey, congrats on all your success, and thanks for doing this, man. We appreciate it.
See you, buddy.
Best of luck this season.
Well, thanks for having me, guys, and talk to you soon.
The Chemistry Podcast is brought to you by Bellman. BEHLMANN. Bellman Automotive. Located where?
Troy,
Missouri. Buick GMC on one side of the street. Right on the other side, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Get yourself some new wheels in time for the winter. All right, that was Jonathan Marchessault.
he was great.
He's one of my favorite players, man. He wears 81. My son wears 81. He's a right shot. And he plays a great game, dude. Like
he does, yeah.
And you know what? Like, it's not like no one knew who he was before he went to Vegas. He scored 30 goals his final year with the Florida Panthers before he was left unprotected.
Yeah.
You ever look at the list of all the players the Florida Panthers had at one point in time?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I know. But you could also look at that as Buffalo Sabres and what the players they had, and all of them winning the Stanley Cup. At least Florida kind of figured it out and they won.
Right.
But, like, there's other teams that had all these kind of players, too, and they got rid of them. And now they still suck. Buffalo Sabres, Jesus Christ. I saw that 2017 lineup, and they're like, what the fuck?
Buffalo, I'm just trying to, like...
We're trying with you.
I'm trying with you.
We need to get a couple cats on from Buffalo.
Not the fans' fault.
No, we love the fans, dude. You guys, man, all the power to you, dude. Tip of the cap for you guys supporting that fucking mess. That mess for years. For years, man. The division with players and the organization and people leaving on bad terms and this, that.
Oh,
my God. Figure it the fuck out.
Couldn't even work.
Seriously, we're rooting for you. We want you to be successful.
Couldn't make it work with Jack Eichel.
Who's dominating now. Like,
tried to like tarnish his reputation, and then his teammates come on from Vegas and be like, he's the greatest
guy
I've ever had.
You're telling him what to do with his body, just so you know. Like, you're telling him, well, Jack's like, no, I'm talking to my doctors. I need this done to my fucking neck.
I'll give Vegas credit for taking a chance on that, man.
I know.
Because he hadn't had a surgery yet.
I know.
You just didn't know.
I know. And they did, and it worked.
Yeah.
And you guys fucked that up. You made him uncomfortable getting surgery on his body. What the fuck was that all about?
Ryan O'Reilly, who loves hockey more than anybody.
Nicest guy in the world.
He wanted out of there.
The captain, a leader. Everybody loves him. He wanted out of there. Why? What are you guys doing?
So we're trying maybe Lindy Ruff will come back and add some nostalgia.
I don't know. Yeah, that was fun. Buffalo Sabres hockey.
To me, that's a risk-free signing by bringing him back. It's like, okay, you know what? Everyone loves him.
Yep.
So if it doesn't work, then we'll just kind of get through this little time period and bring on the next guy. But if it does work, everyone's just going to love Lindy even more.
I tell you what, the Buffalo Sabres in the 90s were one of my favorite jams
back
going.
Then, dude, I loved them
with fucking Razor and Brad May and all the boys. Like, are you kidding? Early days with LaFontaine and McGillney. And you got Dominic Hasek. You guys were fun. Tilts every single night. No one came into Buffalo and messed around.
Chris Drury and Campbell and all those guys.
And then a little bit later on, they had the Drury, and they were fucking great too. Yeah. God. I don't know. If I'm a Buffalo Sabres fan, I'm pissed off. And I've been pissed off for a long time, and rightfully so.
And a year ago at this time, remember they're going to make the playoffs.
Get out of here. Not going to make the playoffs again either.
You think Tage Thompson rediscovers his and evolves back into like an elite of the elite superstars?
If he doesn't, then they're going to want to hit. Then he's going to want to get the fuck out of there because there's something going on. Yeah, he was fantastic for a bit there, man. Like, he was. Oh, it wasn't like fluky shit.
No,
he was dominating.
His shot was incredible.
He's huge. He could skate. He was smart, savvy,
stick handling
on everybody. Like, God, he's so lanky. Like, he's just like going over here, and all of a sudden he's over there. He's fun to watch, and he slows down. Why? Protect him. Annoying. It is.
That's your word of the day.
Yeah, it is. I would be annoyed if I was a fan there. I'd be like, what the fuck? Let's go. We got some guys, man. I like that Darlene kid. He's fun.
And Owen Power, they had 2 first overall picks.
That's another thing. You kind of look at what Edmonton was. They started to figure things out.
I like Owen Power.
He's cool.
I don't love him as a first overall pick, though. I will say. I do like him a lot. I remember watching him at Michigan. Oh, by the way, I went to the Yost Arena. One of the coolest
pretty cool
hockey rinks I've ever been to.
I saw your video.
It's a field house, Cam. It's not like a...
What's that mean?
It's more like rectangular.
Oh, okay. Old school? How old?
Old school, dude.
How old?
Was that a bad video to send out?
No.
Oh.
I'll let you know.
Would you?
You sent out a video of you and Chloe at... Are you kidding?
At the big house?
Don't ever think that way.
I was trying to sneak into the big house.
And I want more videos of Chloe dominating. Dude, always post that.
I was at the...
If you're going to post about virtue signaling something, I'll call you out on that. That's when I'll call you out. But you haven't
I had to ask you about a certain tweet that was out there, and I was wondering if that is virtue signaling.
Yes, it was. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yes, it was.
That's virtue signaling?
Oh, yeah.
That's a definition of it?
Yeah, man.
Meaning, like, I'm going to get, like...
You can't be cryptic to the people.
No, I know, but, like, being, like, I'm going to act like I care about something to get attention for it?
Yeah.
So is that virtue signaling?
Yes, it is. I love the WNBA. I've been watching for you. No, you haven't. No, you haven't. You haven't watched the WNBA. You haven't watched it ever. I loved it. I've been a fan. No, you haven't. I'm not talking to you. I'm just talking like
we need more women in sports.
I mean, no, you haven't. You're watching Caitlin Clark now. That's what you're doing.
No, but the guys who say we need more women in sports, and then they don't hire any.
Yeah, like a hierarchy of a company is like we need more women in this job. Oh, really? You didn't hire anybody though.
Yeah,
you're in charge of hiring women, and you didn't do it. How about you give your job up then? How dare you keep your job as a male when we need more women? So why don't you step aside and give your job up to a woman?
And you've hired nothing but males.
You've hired nothing but males, but then you virtue signal and say, we need more women in this. Well, if they don't want to come, you can't force the issue. Right. And if you really want it that bad, then why don't you just give up your job because you want other people to do it, but you don't want to do it.
Right.
That's virtue signaling, Andy. Give your job up. How dare you, as a male, keep that job when more females need to be there? You're the one in charge. Give your job up first.
Yeah.
That's virtue signal.
Okay.
When you tweet it out, but yet you don't do anything about it, you know, it's exactly what it is. Because in reality, you know, like if there was women lined up the door to do this job, you would hire some, but there's not. But you just say it just to get a, look, I'm going to entertain the women folk now. They're going to be like, good job, sir. Meanwhile, you're not hiring anybody because there's no women want to do this job.
What do you think?
We need more women bricklayers. Okay. There's no women want to do that.
I had a person come interview for one of my apartment complex.
Yeah.
And he was in transition to become a woman. So he was like, he was like in the transition, like features,
have a long, tough ride.
Features and everything. And he was a bricklayer, or she was a bricklayer.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You know, not many of them, you know. Welders, bricklayers, you know, fucking
really long nails though. That'll break
your
fingernails though.
Fucking longshoremen, you know. I mean, like the most loggers, like the most dangerous.
I hung out with some shoremen in Cape Cod last year.
Fucking hardcore. No, you didn't.
Sure, I did.
So anyway, at the wealthy part, you were not talking.
They work on the. That's where they work.
You weren't talking to blue collar folk.
The lobster people. Sure, it was
hard job.
Very hard.
A fisherman. In the East Coast,
very hard.
Off the coast of Cape Cod.
The weather.
Are you unpredictable? Do you realize how difficult that is? How scary? Every freaking day, your wife is like worried about you every single day. What's going to happen out there? It is so unpredictable. Even if the weather is okay, your boat could fuck up.
Yeah.
God, dude, it's fishermen. Ay. Hardcore. Men do a lot of hardcore stuff, man. A lot of the most hardcore jobs in the world, 90% of men are doing it. 95%.
Being a teacher is a hard job.
Yeah.
Every day you risk your life going in there.
Not every day. You get the summers off, which is quite nice.
That's true.
And now the average teacher is like $75,000.
Is it?
Yeah.
I don't think that's true.
Average teacher. Look
with how many years of experience?
Don't know. I just think it's better. The money's better. I would say pay them more still, 100%. But I do think it's not bad. And you get great benefits and you get all summer off, which is nice. So average teacher salary. We'll see. Average teacher salary.
Anything else catch your attention on Jonathan Marchessault, by the way?
God, I just always forget because we do these like last week. So I kind of forget. $69,000 at national average teacher salary. Okay.
Sid Tom Wilson hit him the hardest he's ever been hit.
Oh, yeah. So Andy chirped me about that one. Well, all he was saying with this, because you guys just heard that. So I asked him about that hit because fucking Willie rocked him.
Did I chirp you about it?
No, not bad. No, more like I go, did you want to do something to him? And you go, what do you mean? I go, I know.
Like he's going to go beat up Tom Wilson. No. That's not what you're saying, but get him back maybe.
You could always get him back. You have to beat him up. Like even though you know you can't beat him up in a fight, do you think when he hits you like that and sets you back, You work your ass off, dude. You bust your ass. That guy hits you like, I know you're not going to beat him up, but aren't you like, I'm going to catch this motherfucker.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to catch him with his head down. And I might take a penalty on it, but internally, I'm still fucking fired up about this.
Right.
I'm going to get you when you're not looking. Like, do you ever think that way?
Mm-hmm.
Not, I'm going to go ragdoll you. No.
But he said, listen, he doesn't have that luxury like a lot of other guys do where he's bigger and stronger.
No, I know. No, I know. But you can still hit him.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder, like, Andy, like, seriously, though, if you were playing, because you got fire in you. You do.
Mm-hmm.
You're not a big guy by any means. 5 foot, 100 pounds in high school. But if somebody caught you with one
Mm-hmm.
and you knew he was bigger and tougher, I think that you would not fight him, but find a way where he's like this, come up the wall, and you know he's taking that suey pass, and you're like, I'm going to catch you right in your sternum.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you? Wouldn't you think to do that?
Oh, 100%.
I know. Hell yeah. And then maybe take an
It's
ass
the
whooping,
first
but you
nice
got him.
thing you said all episode.
Well, you got to give me reason.
We had fun golf. I thought you had fun. I thought we had fun golfing.
I did.
I thought it was a good time.
It was.
You were just in a hurry, dude. You wanted to get.
We were there for 5 hours.
I was there for like 6.
We were there for 5 hours. Okay, and that's an hour and a half from my house. So I'm just like, let's get the pace up a little. Okay,
there was nobody behind us.
Doesn't matter. We're there for 5 hours. No one front. No one. It's not a tournament. Like usually you get down to 2.5, 3, dude.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never played golf that fast.
No shit, you haven't? You've never done anything on the course that fast. That's my point.
I love being on the course. Even when I went to the
it's just long. It's just too long.
where I couldn't stay in golf at the Hockey Hall of Fame golf tournament, and I just hung out and followed you guys in my
you
cart.
slowed us down.
And you're getting so mad because I'm talking to Brownie the whole time.
Talking to people. I mean, I'm like, I got to get out of here at some time. You know what I mean? I got to drive all the way home. Like, it's a long day.
No, I get
That's
it.
all. So.
But Cam was just like, I'm like talking to these guys. You're like, let's go.
Dude, we've talked to them for, again, 5 hours. You know what I mean? Like, they're like, I've got my groove.
Marchessault did not like Patrick Waugh when he played for him.
No, I know. Well, that's right. I go, is that like, he would like belittle me and do this. And I go, do you think that's like, good
in junior?
Is that like helping you?
Right.
Is that helping kids?
Yeah.
And he's like, no, but now I like him. I'm like, okay, but like that's not good. Belittle guys. Like, don't even say. I hated coaches like that. And I was pretty good with coaches like that. But the coaches that look by you like, what are you gonna do today? What do you mean? How about you say, hey, we need you today, or hey, you did good on the wall last night. That's all. Little things like that. But if you're just belittling, how the fuck do you? Everybody's so like, not everybody's confident, man. You have to build their confidence the right way. You can't just belittle them all the time. They'll never have that.
No.
You're a hierarchy. They look up to you as a coach. Like, give him a little bit, even if he's not just a little bit. You did good. I like that. Look at that play on the wall. Look at that. It's like, you got off the wall. You kept it up, boom, boom, boom. You kept the play moving. That's all I needed. Or even a fucking tap on my shoulder when I walk by you.
Hell yeah.
That's all I need.
That's all you need.
And you'll see that with Ty, with coaches too. When he gets older and older and older, and you're going to evaluate every moment of those coaches, and you know you are. And if you'll see a couple that are going to be me, you're going to be like, what is this all about? You can't pump him up there? No, I know he didn't get the puck off the wall. We talked about that. But what about that play? Like, can't you, like, there's a balance to it.
Yeah, but all these coaches,
I don't like that.
They all think they know, like.
So I feel like that they
can't tell them.
I think they feel like I'm an authority figure. Like, everybody sucks. Everybody's. You ever meet a guy that says everybody sucks? Everything's bad. That guy ain't good. He ain't good. Okay. Everybody sucks. Oh, you're the greatest then? Then who is good? He can't tell anybody that's good because he thinks everybody sucks. Can't have that, man. Can't have that.
Can't have it. You can have.
You gotta balance it out. You know, these kids, dude, you have to balance it out. You gotta call them out whenever they fuck up, but also when they do something, even if it's not that great, but I made a good play on the wall.
You can have a first form prize pack. God is what you can have by entering our sweepstakes. Send us that order. You got to use our link, Cam and Strick, or firstform.com/Cam and Strick. Send us the order number by using our link, and then you will be automatically registered and qualify to receive a first form prize pack and a Cam and Strick prize pack. I'll even throw in a signed puck. Or maybe a signed golf.
Oh, my God.
Maybe a signed golf glove or something.
That'd be cool. Oh, golf ball.
Oh, I'll sign a golf ball.
And he buys golf balls.
They found it so funny that I said, how many golf balls are in here?
You beat the pot up like no other. I've never seen anything like it.
What pot?
The pot. Because you're going to pay for everything. And he goes in there and
I'm
buys
ordering Bloody Marys and
$50. I don't care about that. We're partying.
Mhm.
But the first thing is like, I got to buy some golf balls. I'm like, oh, I know there's going to be like $50 right off the bat. Like you could have got those at Walmart.
Mhm.
You know, you could have already had
How much would those balls have cost at
Probably pretty expensive.
Yeah.
Those are expensive balls.
Yeah.
You don't need those.
I need
No,
well,
you don't.
I like the yellow balls because I can find them a little easier.
They're green. And he lost 50 of them. $50.
Sparks hockey, baby.
Oh, God.
Don't let Seth ruin your hockey season
He's
or
done
the
it.
tournament for the weekend.
I know.
And he can, but you get your own Sparks hockey machine, your own skate sharpener.
Yeah.
It'll save you thousands and thousands of dollars. Use our promo code Cam and Strick. It's going to save you more money than Black Friday and Cyber Monday.
Yeah, it will. But
Yeah.
just don't worry about the Seth thing. It's just simplify your life. If your kid's playing a lot of hockey, man, you might as well get this damn thing.
Oh, my God.
Put it in your basement, put it in your garage, press a button.
Yeah.
Done. Done. You know.
Only Seth could mess up on a Sparks.
Seth's like this. Let me look at credit card number. Let me jot that down. Ooh, look at him looking creeping out the
let
daughter.
me take
and
a picture of it with my phone.
Let me take a picture and I'm going to film the daughter. I'm going to.
Oh,
God.
my God.
Not on my watch.
Chili plastering.
Mm-mm-mm.
Turn your backyard into an absolute oasis.
Oh, man. You don't have to leave your house.
No.
You know, I don't want to leave my house if I don't have to.
Mhm.
If I had a pool in my backyard, God dang D-dog. God.
You can have one.
I'd be jamming
Call
out.
Chili Plastering today.
I might be swimming naked.
They don't really build the pools, but you can't build a pool without Chili Plastering. Put it that way.
Oh, yeah. Well, when you get the pool, you call them and they'll
Yes,
take care of
and
you.
they
dude.
take
That's
care
what
of
it happens.
everything.
Exactly.
And they also have that Pebble technology.
Yep. Damn right.
Cam at Bellman, you get no.
Swinging dicks, none of that bullshit. Nope. Try Missouri. Troy, Missouri. Damn good people
But
up
you
there.
do get sushi and flavored water.
Whatever. But
And
the deal is,
they got Buick GMC
They got all
on
kinds
one
of
side
stuff.
of the street, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram on the other side. Cam's looking at that pink Jeep, 2-door, small wheels.
I'll
soft
take that
top,
Buick. I told you. I'll take that Buick.
with flames on the side. Nothing wrong with that.
No.
I drove a Wagoneer all weekend.
Oh,
Loved it.
they float. They do. They're damn good.
Oh, I didn't need it because it's just me and Chloe in the car. But I was like, I'll take
But
that one.
Andy's like,
right
I'm
there.
going to take the most expensive one I can get. Those Wagoneers are fantastic.
Bench clearers, baby.
Right yonder. Look at it.
Represent your team and
Who?
do it in style.
Who do you think of? Go.
Mike Modano, baby.
Shane Churla.
Kurt Giles.
Kurt Giles.
John Casey.
John Casey.
Basil McCray.
Basil. Razzle Dazzle Basil.
Brian Bellows. Neil
Bri-
Broughton.
Neil Broughton. All right.
I mean, do we need to continue?
No, that's good.
Because that's
That
pretty
was
damn good
Pretty
right there.
damn good. Kurt Giles.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Just block shots. Little
Yeah.
guy.
Yep. Kurt Giles.
Play bigger
Interesting.
than his size, but you can get one of these bench clearers too. Get them today, benchclearers.com. Get
Yeah.
the hoodie for the winter, but you can put these you can put this over a hoodie and wear it to
Yeah.
the game, no problem.
Yeah, exactly. Do whatever you want with them.
Yeah.
And they won't, when you wash them, they won't shrink or anything.
No, they won't.
Pretty nice. Pretty nice. I like that. North
Proper
Star.
cannabis, baby. Listen, you're dealing with anxiety, sleep issues, medical issues, pain issues. No better way to get your life on the right track, the proper track. Use our promo code Cam and Strick. It's going to save you 20%. Cam and Strick 20. Cam and Strick 20 is the promo code to save 20%.
They got all kinds of options, man.
Yeah.
I got hooked up there Thursday. Damn good people, man. They got a lot of locations in St. Louis, too. Tons. Check it
Hat
out.
launch, baby.
Check that out.
Every hat tells a story. Get your hats with America's #1 source for customized hats.
Hat launch
here.
for your NFL fantasy football. Do that.
But your baseball team, your hockey team,
And then let me
whatever.
know. And then send us and let me know what. Just let me know what your fantasy football
Let us
is all
know what
about.
you think.
What your team name is.
Mhm.
Get that all taken care of and send a picture. I want to see what you guys look like. And I also want to see what the loser has to do, too.
Oh, God.
Man, I ain't doing that. Okay. Just so all y'all know. That's why I don't do fantasy football. I get invited to do it all the time. And I'm just like, I'd rather just hang out with them and not do fantasy football.
I
Or
love
just-
fantasy
I would just hang
football,
out with my
man.
buddies, you know? And I certainly don't want to, like, I might be a dick on this because I think I'd pay the money and all that stuff, of course. But then at the end, if I lost, I wouldn't ride home on a Greyhound.
No, but like no one really does that.
Yes, they do.
Well, a
I
few
see
people
videos
do. Yeah,
all.
but we
No,
don't-
my buddies tell me no, they do it,
We don't do
and
that.
I go, I don't know if I play that.
314-920-5713. Call
Yeah.
Dave Novak today.
Big Dave.
Roofing, gutters, soffit, fascia, whatever it is you're looking for,
Get it
man.
checked out, man.
Yeah,
You
we'll
get a
hook
free
you
roof.
up. Gutters too.
Yeah.
Siding. And he'll talk pucks with you.
Yeah. Good old St. Louis boy right there. Works his ass off, man. You got to give all those roofers some credit because they work hard and they do a damn good job. He does a damn good job. See if your roof has any of that hail damage. Get it done. Get it done now.
Illinois Recovery Center. We're thinking about everybody who's dealing with anything, any demons in their life that is trying to hold you back. Man, always know there is a better life ahead for all of you. And you may have to do a few things to get yourself back on track, but there's no better people to have by your side to help you every single day to get to where you should be. And that's Illinois Recovery Center, man.
I tell you this, man, you're not a victim, okay? Don't act like you're a victim. You need help. And don't be shy to get help either. So it's like, don't act like you're a victim, but also be like, I could do this on my own. Sometimes you can't. In fact, a lot of times you can't. You know, you got to be a bigger man and actually ask for help instead of just shushing everybody on the side and not getting any work done.
And
now you isolate yourself.
And you know you need it.
You do need it, man. These guys will help you. They don't fuck around. They will get you out of there, and you'll feel like a new man again. And your wife and your kids will have you back.
Yes.
Your normal person
And you'll
back.
have that relationship with
don't-
your family that
You're
you should
fake
have.
right now. You're not you. You're not you right now.
Mhm.
So Chrissy Pondoff and Eric Conley at IRC will help you.
Yes, they
Trust
will.
me on that.
Message us. We'll get you directly in touch with them.
Yeah.
Illinois Recovery Center. And we've had a number of listeners who have been there or contacted IRC, man.
From all over,
And
by the way.
we can get
Yeah.
you in touch with them, too.
Damn right.
If you want to
Yeah.
know, like, their experience.
Of course.
And, you know.
Yep.
And hear from them who lived it. So, Jonathan Marchessault, man, have the
Check it
best
out.
season, man. Appreciate him for joining us, as always. And everybody here at Half Coast Studios, Maddie.
Maddie, what up, baby?
Everybody on the
up,
Canvas Strict
my
team.
boy?
Brody, Jason, Amos, everybody, man.
All y'all.
Who's helping us.
Hockey season's coming.
Anybody wants to join our social media team, by the way,
That's right, Andy.
hey, hit us up. If you want to join our social media team, looking for creative minds, people who are creative
Exactly.
and want to help our continuing product grow.
Reach
and-
out to us.
and get even to the next level, man.
We'll get you on our pace and
Yeah,
tell you what we want, and we'll
Yeah,
take
dude.
care of you, and we'll go from there.
and that's easy.
We'll work something out.
Social media.
Right on, guys. Love all y'all.